My name is Severa alongside with Raven PLZ. We're going to go starting off here into the A's off a peak. Now, of course, Team Alliance, they're rushing straight to the heart of it all and trying to get as much gear. How many choices can we open in the next couple of seconds to go into a fight? Because YZG and Hypercube are taking that early game aggression right off the bat.
YZG versus EU. What can the EU boys show me? QGG able to find the first focus attacks, getting the nice aggro out. Their team lucking out with the armors, but Konghai is going to get that parry, get the nice RB, but he is going to fall right now. 2v3 situation. What can you show me? Can you bring this back? But GG's going to be coming out with a nice timing time, a nice flank, and now YZG is on the back foot and has to peel out.
Yeah, QGG getting caught by that parry, getting a full elimination from GG. There's going to be their first kill on the board. Having the opportunity of using F2 for the Cicada. Now this is going to be where CJS can use it to psych it out. Plus it's also a lower cooldown skill to see about its usage in the trio's mindset for CJS. Having the chance of backlining this, finding BLZ down for Hypercube, and finding the second elimination up to 4. We have just accrued to the kills after we just started off the loop, still with common armor, but not without the amount of damage that just came through into this house.
Yeah, like I was saying, I didn't think that GG would play this early game very slow. In the scrims, GG showed a different side of themselves. They really took it to every single team. Normally, in NBPL, they play very, very methodical, just really, really slow off spawn. They don't really try to challenge off spawn, not even really going for timing attacks. They go for a full Blue Jade setup, blue armors, and set up for that first Yang. But we see them take that aggression and go for a nice timing attack. Looking at KFL, they're looking really stacked. We're going to be following this new variation of GG. We're not accustomed to this aggression, and they're going to find YZG's res.
Now this is over by Ancient Sake. This is an immediate kill to the pickup of loot. Now Moonbanes have been purchased already. I saw Ares was able to pick up one of those Moonbanes, but we do still see GG rotating out straight north. They are heading in past towards the Purity Chamber. They're making their approach towards Imperium slowly but surely, while YZG, seen CXZ, seen QGG be the only ones left alive. 17S is still inside of his soul form. Now, Team Bauta, Arcadia. The objective gameplay usually from Arcadia is to get that Volpine's essence. If Bauta was uncontested for this, even with the 3 kill eliminations for right now, they can solve that puzzle by picking up those Thunder coins, which are going to be taking up the inventory slots, as you can see from Peak right there. They're going to find 7 coins, get that Jade, hold it on, and have it for their, probably for their Zai, most likely, since Yu is able to kind of utilize it and use it aggressively inside of Romy Yang's, or even just being able to hold it on for the end game.
Interesting. Bauta actually switched back to zipping instead of Syra. They were absolutely crushing with Syra. There was one vulnerability that I did notice by the end of the day for the first group stage. OUG was with full gold armor, but because they had Syra contesting a Spirit Well, they weren't able to sustain and get out of that situation. They end up getting poked out by most of the lobby. And because they didn't have a true support heal, they end up falling as they come in from the zone. The rest of the lobby focus fires them, even though they had the most stacked loot. So, big adjustment coming out from Bauta.
Now it's up to this fight here. Ares making sure they're approaching to Alliance. Wow, early off into the V2 usage. This is going to be the surprise. Maybe the ace up their sleeve for a moment, because the other opponents with the V1 from Alliance forcing out that Wu Champ port coming in from Yishao. Now, Kuzo had already casted his Test Enchant. He still has to build up Rage, but passively in the distance, you can see GG looking to try to invade themselves. They got level 2 for that Variation 3 ultimate for Takeda, meaning they have 4 slashes, but they're not using it just yet. They got to make sure they kind of see about the backline that just disengaged, and they recognize it to be with Ares, but the F2 is invested from CJS, not holding it out for his ultimate, and now is the time that it comes through. 1, 2, 3 vertical coming out, no connections there. CJS eating up a lot of damage and using the Furin to kind of push back while that aggression still keeps on coming.
Temio's going to be invested in Takeda, connecting perfectly onto Ares. Everyone's in a really tough position right now, stuck with the double ultimate. Can they survive? They're stuck against the wall right now, but they're doing a wonderful job getting LXM really, really low. A little bit of a pickup with the Kurumi heal. Kuzo in the thick of things, looking for the parry. He's gonna get it, and LXM is gonna fall. CJS in a bad situation now. He is getting staggered over and over, but Alliance gonna be coming in with a third party. Can they find a closeout onto GG?
Yishao looking to try to chase this down here. Another ultimate coming from Misu with the V2, finding the F3. CYN's big, finds the kill steal off of CJS, but we still have blue armors, and we're looking for a fuel shield reset for Ares. Taking that longsword beam, Kuzo is going to be in a tap dodge position, but gets caught into that mid dodge. Now there's going to be a chance here for the Test Enchant from this time from Ares. Aries to look for that knockback. There goes down Kuzo. CYN is now up to 2 eliminations, and seeing that this kill spread has gone through with the Moonbane being casted, all teams are separating themselves from this area. Now, if this Moonbane is under Aries, they are going to go ahead and try to get a reset. If the teams look to try to contest that, they're only looking for light range shots.
A little bit of NA on NA violence with that 4th and 5th party coming in. We are going to get DRG on the outside versus EWG Cookie in an isolated 2-point situation. He is going to get double charged and deep fried, taken down. DRG on the board now, looking at the off spawn. Aries with 4 kills, actually. GG with 5. Very, very strange seeing GG going for a lot of kills off spawn. We are going to tune in to KFL, the EU boys versus Bauda. What can you show me? Realman's going to be ulting right now. You backing off on the side. Matario's going to be invested, getting out of line of sight. F3 is going to be invested. Wow, the disengage coming out from Bauda, denying all of the pressure from Ryoman.
Now Ryoman's going to have half of his ultimate expended in search of the opponents. Now the Matari ultimate is over. This means that they have full vision, but there's so much terrain advantage right now for the opposing teams. And now for Team Bauda taking the bow shots, they can make it very well known that they are not afraid to go right back in. They still have Zai ultimate to be available for them to go back through. Ryoman's going to have to deform here, maybe having full chances of seeing about you getting caught out because he still hasn't procced his F skill, because he still has it back from the cooldown moment. Peak proccing that zipping ult, looking for the knockback, jumping extensions coming out here from you, looking for the R&B to hold check if he can, but the drop down with the ultimate from you to knock back and spread the opponents out. It is not going to be going through for KFL unless they can find a turnaround, as Ryoma's getting targeted by you.
Yu delays his ultimate. Now he has full control of this fight. He's trying to lock down Ryoman. Ryoman backing off, trying to pop the heal. Yak, nice PO coming on with the hottie, but how long can you deny Yu? P gonna get the parry, take down Windy, and now Yak has the cube out of here. Ryoman's doing his best to peel for him, stuck in the thick of things, but Bauda is gonna be cleaning up KFL right now. Ryoman with the last health situation. Yu's ult is still ticking. He gets a nice whip in, and Bauda will clear up KFL.
Horizontal's being released left and right. You know the pulls are coming out here from you is going to come through for the gear on hand. Nunchucks on the ground, a purple rarity, having purple dual blades, having the skill necessary to go right into first round game. Got about a minute or so before the cave starts to go ahead and be open for teams to try to reposition for that if they lost their first set of fights. In the meanwhile, Ancient Stockade, we're running right back into this area. CYN looking to reset here. After losing their first set of lives, they have 2 eliminations, and they're having a good chance of getting the good RNG set. But in the unfortunate circumstance, GG is in the ropes of the distance, and they are looking to hunt around, and they have just reappeared at the Ancient Stockade, looking to kind of kite around here on the northwestern end of it, and just going straight to Tincture Woods.
Yeah, it looks like GG is cashing in on the amount of research they were doing during scrims. I had heard from Ryoman that they were definitely deviating from their normal NBPL strategy. They actively hunted and moved around the map trying to figure out who was landing where, and we're seeing a lot more active GG than we're accustomed to. Now going into this first Rumble Yang, we are going to see all these siphons posted up, the Zai composition, the budget variation. Now Zai has a little bit of advantage onto Takeda in the beginning just because she gets a lot more value earlier. It takes a lot more investment for Takeda to get going, but we'll have to see how GG is going to stand here, only with a purple ultimate. GG, though, the premier Siphon team.
What's crazy, 330 has a Blistering Edge and Sapshade as a Kurumi, meaning that once that parry occurs with the ultimate, it might be set up. There's going to be the cast for the F3. As it comes out, the Binding Prayer is going to create that mitigation aspect and go straight to offensive mode, but the Zai ultimate might not come out yet, but the Matari will. EWG, see into the skies. You can see Liwei is going to be right up in the alley into the moment. Trying to kite around there, waiting to burn time for that semi-circle, and then the drop-down blue comes out. The vertical blue focus doing more than enough damage for TGS. We're looking for the Takeda ultimate to be casted out here before we can use the Zai, but the skill from Zai comes in, the comets are released, the blue focuses are spam, 330 casting his Kurumi ult.
Yeah, Takeda really, really low. CGS is going to get picked up. Nice job from him, avoiding the execution onto him, but 330 with this blistering, flanking everyone right now. Cookie's doing a good job with the Zai, peeling for his teammates, and now EWG going into the second phase, has all the ults, baited it out for GG. CGS on the Takeda, no armor to his name, but Kurumi's gonna lock on to him, keeping him up right now. Last little bit, no abilities left except the Zai ult from Cookie. He's putting on the pressure, but still, CGS is getting peeled perfectly from his teammates.
Now that F1 comes out in clutch moments as Cookie gets the mitigation, gets the heal back, and is continuously putting the fight into the pressure, but now it's going to be a 1v3. The situation just switched on his head. Cookie is now the only one left from EWG as GG holding the ground for it, looking to try to buy as much time throughout here as he's escaping and looking for the bow shot. You're going to get your wild bow shot from me? I don't think so. The horizontal gets released from Cookie. He's going ahead and keeps kiting out. We got 25 seconds, but the bow shots, they still not connecting. The clink, that's going to be the death sentence. Unless Cookie is just that much of a slippery slope, he gets caught into that LMB. That's going to be a victory for GG, taking into that gold weapon into account for the team.
Yeah, GG just makes it look so easy. Running that double pole sword, halberd, rare weapon composition. I rarely see that weapon composition. It does make sense that GG's 330 has a blistering. Really makes the brings a lot of reliability to the pole sword focus attack. They do a wonderful job of bending, weaving, going on the offensive when they need to, backing off when the execution on their Takeda is coming in. Great peel from them, but they make it look so easy. The amount of bursts that the Zai Matari team has is very, very tough to deal with, especially for that first Yang. The Xiphon composition was designed to beat Siphon and the Viper attack on Titan. So really, really good job from GG. There's no question that they are locked in this year for this year's Worlds.
Now we got a double off Yang drop spawn. YZG taken into the steady line against EWG, and this is Siphon versus Sand Siphon outside the realm Yang. Now taking into account that QGG also has a moment of using the fan, having when he turned into the background, whether or not he's going to be throwing the horizontal to try to connect it. No, it looks like he gave it to his teammate because CXC gonna proc gold out there. The Temi comes out, elimination on the XI, having the ultimate and burning the soul bloom to be picked up for QGG just to ensure that he can get that as early often as possible. With the proc though, QGG will look to try to grapple chase this, 9 in his hand, and looking like in the distance, another team CYN could potentially look for this third party inside of the Honor Temple.
Yeah, QGG is going to pop that Takeda. Temi also already invested as well. Matari from the Loic putting on the pressure for him. He is going to be backing out, waiting for these next two shoves to come out. He can't get away though. His team hasn't come out of field. Temi in front of the Zai. Krumiel is going to be invested. YZG is going to pick up, go back to full health, go back on the offensive. Cookie, though, standing in between them, not letting them get to his Matari. Nice job for him to peel, but for how long can he hold on?
Perry coming out here, though. CXC takes his chance in a third party. CYN, Viper Wuchen Testa team comes in and almost completely disarrays fight QGG in the enchant threshold, but he is too far from where the team's position is. CYN were in a great spot to find the eliminations big. Repositions back in, still has that variation 1 ultimate, and the Wuchen port out comes out from Kamoka. Now, as the team looks to reset over on top of the Honor Temple, it was unsure whether or not they thought EWG were willing to go right back in, or if YZG has something under their hands. Otherwise, they're completely out from that position.
Yeah, it looks like even though they get the nice timing attack in with the Tesla, one of them gets buried and they go too low to secure the kill. And it looks like EWG is going to pick up where they left off. QGG jumping in with the blue fan, trying to get an opening for his teammates. 17S is going to go really, really low. Karumi has to get in the backline round, goes for the tether, but QGG with the tether, gonna go on the offensive versus Cookie. Montari also gonna be coming out. But we got the Takeda all back online, ready to go. YZG with the momentum now.
Now they're up to 3 eliminations, and they're trying to hunt down towards Cookie's direction, towards this air. Now, of course, Cookie gets caught into the stacker. 3 Fear and Blast, 3 Blue Focus Spam, and a lot of stackers coming in. And that's going to be YZG's 4th elimination so far into his onslaught. Now, CYN are back in the mix. Remember, V1 is still being saved. There's going to be the ultimate from the Tumult in the Tessa hit. Missed its target as QGG is out of there for the moment and comes right back in. 1-2 crouch LMBs coming out, back and forth. The F comes through, and Big gets eliminated in succession. CYN having a moment, but then executing it throughout this time, parry by parry. YZG come up into 6 kills into this game.
Oh my goodness. CXZ, his teammate, stunned right next to the Temuel. Great positioning. Sets up perfectly for the flank play, denying the burst. They're stuck out in the open with very little to line of sight, but nice job from the Temi to create the opportunity for everyone to make a big play right there. And they make it look easy.
Yeah.
That was a really, really tough spot. Well played by them to avoid that Viper stun execute.
Yeah, and Cyan Fang going to be picked up for QGG, and having that Soothing Boon now unlocked to be in its utmost power for the Romy Yang number 2 showing up here. The teams are looking to rotate throughout. Now, QGG not going to have ultimates on standby, so they're just going to be looking to maybe potentially go to a Spirit Well, but DRG, they are waiting outside the Romy Yang as there's a lot of action outside. Alliance and QGG are trying to contest the Spirit Well north of the Black Tortoise Gate. Kind of interesting seeing that they just want to try to get that free realm potentially.
Yeah, GG's going to be going in, but look at the Takeda. We're only at 57%. Oh, and wait a second. Did Alliance go in on their Viper composition? I'm pretty sure Alliance is on the Viper. Weird mix-up right here. See, they have their work cut out of them. They do not have many ultimates online. I'm guessing they have ultimates closely coming online. We'll have to see how CGS is going to be able to create an opportunity. Everyone's going to be pop. No focus is coming in, but Yuma is going to keep up the pressure with the light attacks. Tesla ult's going to be invested. Viper ult is up. They're trying to hold the Takeda in. Nice job from CGS holding and just getting out of there. Temmio giving him the opportunity to back off. Did they dodge the V1? It looks like no one got stunned.
Now it's going to be the V1 for the Wu Chen to port the team out, and if they have 8, the more HP, the more attack they're going to have, because now it's up to whether or not Alliance wants to go ahead for the re-aggression, but they don't even know when the Takeda ultimate's coming up. They didn't even see it being procced earlier. They're like, where's his ultimate? F2 off the pillar, dog? Crazy. And there's a drop-down blue coming into place. That's the Takeda ultimate. That's the Tesla enchant, but it might have been too late. But all the F skills are being invested from this point on. As Tesla's going to spam it out, the enchant is good, but the damage is going to be regenerated from the Kurumi ultimate for the RMBs. We're charging out. We get caught in the background. It might be GG's position right now to use those 2 Furins to try to lock down. There it is. RMBs coming left and right for the parry and into the connection with the full sword and the last Furin to be available. And this is going to be where the F2 might come in clutch for GG CJS.
Alliance is getting picked apart. I cannot believe this. GG went in here with no ultimates, and they absolutely worked Alliance out. NY7 doing his very best. The last one remaining, scale rushing out. Can he stall for 36 seconds after he's going to be invested? But the light attacks are coming out. GG has him surrounded. Nowhere to go, and Kurumi is going to put him out of his misery. GG is looking unstoppable.
Maybe a good chance to see what they got picked up. A Razor Swift actually being picked up in the gold fan. An explosive armor to be accrued with the Flamebringer on standby. The buff of choice definitely going to be maybe Draco Storm, as it's always going to be used as a full refresh on the ult now, guys. If you guys don't remember from going through, if you haven't played Naraka in a bit, that ult refresh comes out from Draco Storm now. This means that the teams can just go full aggression. And the heals that come from that, giving the host wearer an additional heal on top of the baseline heal for your teammates' white health. And for that moment, GG rocking the aggression from this point on only comes if there's any opponents in the vicinity.
Yeah, I love the Draco Storm change. Even before they made the change, I always felt like with Draco Storm, it is extremely hard to lose any type of fighting situation. And even though you didn't have ultimate, you would win fights so easily. That AoE proc basically gives your whole team Storm Stride, allowing you to just hold focus attack in people's faces until you see that stagger and just releasing consistently. The regen on Draco Storm, absolutely insane. Now, moving on, Ares still alive. They found a way to recover. It looks like they were able to claim the Spirit Well, setting up for this assassinations play. I'm a big fan of Viper for the first day. You don't really have to go into Yang, put a ton of pressure on yourself to be firing on all cylinders. Instead, you can go around, play the full game, and find some kills.
Now Team Battle lose their Romy Yang are going forward in 100%. Don't stop in this car. Use driving it, and now it's going to be a chance for him to go for gold focus spam into the other F skill. Now is a chance to see MVP burn out. The Wu Chen point is located. There it is. They spotted it out. They got the res, so that shield wall might protect him for a second, but the denial with the Viper ultimate to come out is denied because we held our Vitario. Forbidden Seal is in active state, and now no one's going to have any ultimate active. We're just going to go full hand-on-hand action to just slap around and get the kills. About to have a... You know, they got out of the Romy Yang depletion in less than like 30 seconds. And they have themselves with nearly up to 17 kills in their first game today.
A little bit of miscommunication coming out from MVP. They popped their ultimates and no ult zone as Bowd is going to be diving in now. Tough break for Bowd. They don't have any ults, but they do have the no ult zone to work with. CJS with GG, probe it in, check it out. What the vibes are like, noticing it's a very, very scaled team. GG instead is going to opt out to find a different, weaker team now. Ares, 2 blueberries on their team, 2 blue armors. If they get armor check by GG. It might activate them into putting on some pressure. And this is what I was saying, Serve. Normally we see a very, very defensive GG. Right now, I see them constantly pressing the issue, looking for opportunities. Now, they're still not going full Ooga Booga, fully committing to each fight with Alliance and Ares scoping out this situation. It's going to be very, very dangerous leading into this endgame with two Viper teams hawking for third parties.
Exactly, yeah, and taking a chance of seeing the Forbidden Seal, the initiation for third to fourth parties are easily to happen as Alliance sees their opportunity. Okay, Y7 was right there on the cusp. Can he get a step? He just walks in. It's okay. He can take the aggression. I'm okay with that. He's got F skill up in 3 seconds. He's looking for the connection off of somebody who is potentially in their back line into making sure they can connect it. A Tessa enchant comes out, clean sweep from Ares. So far for that enchant to proc, but more importantly, procking out that Wuchen port. Now up to Alliance with these armors and the health that they're at and the rubbing depletion in play. For Alliance, they have to be careful, but you spotted him out and he just dashed horizontally every single one of those full sword strikes and just goes for the full commitment, investing his F skill. Another test enchant this time coming out, but there goes down Alliance as immediate elimination comes out, but you finds a solo with the pickup.
You will not be denied. Bauda diving in, finding the vulnerable Alliance without ultimates, still not even having to invest any ultimates, just chopping through with this gold pole sword. Yuma doing a wonderful job smacking you away, getting him to retreat, but they will fall as Bauda repositions into this building as the lobby descends onto the commotion. Alliance Yuma is going to get surrounded by Team Ares. They're going to find a nice pickup here, bite off a nice little drumstick, an extra kill, and now Team Ares up to 5 kills, getting to the end game. It's looking pretty good so far. Can the NA boys pull through? We'll have to see. This first Spirit Wall is going to set us up for the following end game.
You got Draco Storm on that Spirit buff, and QGG are going, or YCG are going to want to kite that buff as long as possible for the duration. Ares gets spotted here. This is where the potential for the spam with Takeda comes out. Misu gets caught with the blue focus for free. V2 comes out. He can't Takeda Fury. That means the teammates have to look to lock him down, hoping to see whether or not the Fury can come out the second time because QGG is looking to hold it out. There's Misu looking for dash enemies and looking for the Fury, but there's blue focus coming out from QGG. The Wuchen point to get the team out. They understand that there is a Draco Storm. They say, we got to get low. We got to get out of here. And they're pushing away into potentially another team's position. Meanwhile, QGG are chasing down GG. If they potentially think it's the same team, and they realize that's a Takeda in the distance, they might just back off into a whole other direction.
Yeah, tough break for Ares. They have to kite this very, very stacked YZG, especially with GG trying to avoid the focus fire. Miss you and the crew trying to hide in the bush, trying to avoid the situation, but the triple ultimate, the refresh from that Spirit Well, they have all their ultimates online. Ares desperately heading for the hills, but on top of the hill, awaiting GG is blocking their way. Ares stuck against the wall. Kuzo is gonna fall with the 1-2-3 coming out from YZG 17S.
Now this is up to elimination 7 for YZG, having the chance of losing out their Wuchen. Misu possibly the second one to be caught out here as Kuzo is keeping himself nice and tidy towards Tincture Woods. Invisible pushes. Now Misu, who are immediately to get caught for that, so this gives QGG another chance. The F3 skill coming out from the Viper as Misu tries to disengage. He gets the tap dodge rolls, and QGG is going throughout this whole entire operation. The only problem is I see bow shots coming in here from GG, and that's why GG go ahead for those range shots, and there's a musket to kill off Misu for that kill.
Yeah, GG just going to their tried and true, staying very, very safe in this end game. They're already up to 12 kills, getting the MVP of the round, getting that first place. Very, very critical for maximizing your points when you're in this stack loot situation. Only first place really gets the multiplier. It's a big change of 2024. Kuzo, last man remaining standing for Ares. He is going to get a parry back off of him. YZG chasing him through the tree line, but Kuzo makes his way to the cliff. 1-2-3 going to be going in. He's doing his best in a 1v3 situation, but the Moonbane is going to come out, and now Kuzo is going to get shredded by the Moonbane. Triple blast on top of him, nowhere left to go, and Ares will fall.
Falling with 5 eliminations, they're going to see their gear get picked up from DRG. Having a Soul Slash on hand for Kakaxi and having a jabbing, it is a lot of sustain in this team's hands as well. 2 tunas on the board for them. including for Dongqing, and just being able to repossess that 15 heal per second tick. And then looking over the GG, right? Bringing that Romiang, having a Razor Swift, but also a Dreadful Whale this time on 3-3-0, and building up the alchemy as often as they can, and finding that their bow usage is going to come in clutch. A Fire Arrow's target lock is going to be the hands of 3-3-0. Blistering Edge has been swapped over for LXM as the team is just finding the rotation in the right hands for each goal.
Now, 15 people left alive, 5 teams ready to go. Cannons are out. Everyone slowing down, waiting for the Moonbane to go down, waiting for that next Spirit Well. YZG set up very, very pretty on their side, but now there are 3 teams very, very stacked. The key to winning these situations is having dominant range Jades, especially with the Spirit Well. You want to have really good melee Jades like Dreadful Whale and Merciless, but you can really only go for one side, so it really depends. Where do you want to play? Do you want to hold on the center, or do you want to poke on the outside? Range, definitely the safer option. Gives you a lot of movement in this end game, and you're seeing all of these teams posturing, not sitting in the middle. I don't really see any space controlling Jades out there. No Dragon Roars, no Merciless Havocs, no Aurora Burst, just raw focus attacks. And Bowda's going to be coming in with that flank, and it looks like GG's going to start posting up, trying to claim the Spirit Well.
Preemptive Temiel coming in here for GG just to make sure they can lock it down, and there it is. It might be a chance for Yoran to F2 the heck out of there. Matari making sure that she can try to play sneaky, and it's not going to be allowed from GG. There's a Takeda ultimate. We are at 80% for the Spirit Well clear. Are we going to kite this buff, or are we going to immediately pick up, and GG takes that initiative with the Draco Storm to go crazy for the next 2.5 minutes. Now, with YZG's CXZ taking his spot here, taking a lot of damage and burning his combo breaker. The Draco Storm Stagger might be the killing blow right here for the Blues focus, and there is GG picking up their kill elimination and another ultimate proc, and that Soul Bloom just a tick away slowly.
Yeah, CGS leading his team through. GG with another Draco Storm, absolutely vacuuming as many kills as possible. But see, SYN's Minds has something to say about this. He's gonna pop the Monk ultimate, slow him down, looking for the double grab. In the background, see SYN slows down this Juggernaut, and now YZG with GG on the back foot is going to go for a flank play. Minds is able to get one scoop. Hottie Dash is going to be coming through, not able to get that nice reset. His opponent is able to get out of here, but SYN lives to fight another day. Forces GG out, one of the first teams to survive a GG attack.
Yeah, and SYN still loves having the Baldo ultimate. GG looking to try to go for those tick damage from range. CJS looking to lock through. He's at 59% rage right now, looking to try to throw blue focuses here. Right there is a double parry though from Mind. Oh, the damage. Oh, the connection to the zone. This might force that Temiel, and there it is. It's going to come out throughout this area with the V2 Baldo from gloves and holding it down. CJS is at 92% rage. He's going to have the ultimate ready to go in case he needs to use it for peel off. And there is a chance for Mind to find a blue armor, but he gets caught in the thread of Thrasher mode as GG comes back in court and gets him throughout. That Tian Hai is gone from the lobby. We have a massive score lead so far for GG, up to 14, and we're still having Team Bowda still alive with 19 kills.
Yeah, Bowda's absolutely decimating the other side of the lobby. We have GG splitting out on the other side, Bowda on the other side, DRG's Donkey making moves right now, but Kaxi and WX98 under a ton of pressure right now. It's going to force out the Kurumi ult. Kurumi still getting shredded by a ton of damage. She's down to 1 HP. Her health keeps getting picked up, but she's taking too much damage. Peek with the cannon is going to do a ton of damage and pick up the kill, and now GG is going to activate as a lobby descents. They still have a little bit of Draco Storm, but CJS again has another Takeda ult, trying to find an opening. He's at 40% with a minute and 50 up though. GG has to log in, has to set up their cooldowns if they hope to secure it. Bowda has still a ton of loot, a ton of ults left. You absolutely devastating, but still GG makes a play, surrounds him, and takes you out of the game.
Crazy Dreadful Whale into CJS Takeda ultimate, now putting the pressure onto Bowda at 22 kills, and maybe just losing that multiplier. If they take out Peak, it might be over. The Takeda Fury tap dodge left and right from Peak, but the Dreadful Whale confirms it, giving Iran a lot more to worry about. Having F2 go straight to the sky, trying to buy as much time as possible. YZG17S having a chance of just going ahead and cutting up to the sky now. Of course, while CJS gets caught by another of seeing Dongqing getting knocked through for that Dreadful Whale. Seeing Kurumi hold that onto hand, we're going to see the Matari from YZG17S to get straight to the sky if he can. For this moment, 17S actually on the ground, but the Mataris are just going ahead, going crazy into that moment. I mean, if GG comes out here with MVP, more than likely getting their score lines for the next 45 seconds after the amount of kills that are left to go through the next 4 opponents.
Yeah, GG already up to 90 points. They have 4 players left remaining. It's critical to pick up every last piece. Don't let anyone out. We have 17S hiding in the Mercury River, trying to stall out to claim that second place. There are a bunch of people air stalling up the top. This Kurumi trying to make a play is going to get found out. The bubbles will be spotted. Bauda's Uran all the way at the top, trying to hold out for that second place placement, but CJS is going to spot him out. Temial's going to come down, cutting up the last little bit of breathing room as GG suffocates the lobby, smothering everyone with their dominant Takeda play. Out of the gate, GG will take your first round, your first MVP, and they're looking devastating and poised to win it all.
They got themselves a big game. 22 kills going up into that motion and hoping to get the multiplier that just sets some cool-mindedness to come through for the next 5 rounds. I mean, these type of games, this type of high-scoring games that they just earned is something that just gives that mental push to go down. They don't have as much to worry through, considering they're their opponents, right? And especially with Team Dada staying as long as alive as they did, finding the Jade usage in just the right manner and fashion and giving that Dreadful Whale towards
after game 2, but we're going to be going to Metab. It's looking like a party. We got Team MVP, Alliance, and Bauda all looking for loot, but Kings of the North fighting it off versus NY's CYN.
Now, this is going to be where CIN is going to be early for the armor pickup. Big being able to find the blue armor and having a little bit of pressure from the opponents is now going to be looking to find, scattered loot. CJS all the way through for GG inside of the waterfall. They have armor across the field and weapons, it feels like. And this looting spot gives them all the gear that they need to go right back down south for a fight. But switching it over here and seeing a parry off the back line, Hypercube Chili having to look for maybe a drop down or a kill steal. He's looking for the Scatter Rush. It's not successful, and the F2 from the Hottie gets him out of the fight in just a matter of seconds.
HY's Chili finding Ryoman, a little bit on EU violence right now. Light attack's going to come out. Ryoman's going to fall against the fence. Chili trying to find the last player, and HY is going to get a nice pick off here onto KFL. Ideal situation for that Viper Comp, finding the monks off spawn, and now they have SYN in their crosshairs. But first, we're going to go over to Metab, DRG versus Bauda.
Bauda U having purple armor off this chance is something that makes it difficult to kill off the Cicada, but he finds the Scarush against Hong, the level 3 swing coming in from Alliance, and looking for that Great Sword swipe for the Soul Bloom, coming out of here and seeing the Syra in action for Bauda, losing all the armor, forcing the Kurumio as Peak is looking to try to defend his teammate, and there's so many blue focuses and Scarushes coming back and forth from that Zai. But if anything comes out from Revenge, he's going to look to try to force him into their territory. Since they are trying to get the passive res off of Uran in a moment if they can, the Alliance will not allow it. This is up towards whether or not the ultimate from you can come in just in time for them to look for that turnaround. They might catch with just spamming out the blues because of the Fear and Blast to be available.
Bauda's U is going to get out of there. He wants to keep that purple armor. Doesn't have really his ult online yet. It's going to be a white Takeda ult, not as strong on spawn. And Alliance has NY7 online. That Zai ult is ready to go. MVP's LTZ is running away. Dove in again. NY7 leading Alliance through this off spawn, picking off kills, and they're up to 2 kills. Alliance heating up right now. First couple kills in the bag. You don't want NY7 to get online. He's an absolute juggernaut once he gets the loot advantage.
Everything goes down the hole. NY7 puts himself on the spot right now with the purple nunnies. So if it comes down to him having to force ult, the early game loot spawns are not going to work in the favors of the players, such as Shion from MVP. Bush check. There it is. All right, listen, I was about to say it, but I was waiting for the moment. I hesitated. Now Shion goes down for their life, and now it's up to MVP to look for that turnaround in terms of their other lives to come out, because it might be a chance for them to go straight into the western side of the map, maybe even towards Camel's Hump, but we'll have to see. Cookie, though, EWG, they won their fight up against most likely Ares, taking the chance of seeing about their 3-kill spread and a gold pole sword on their Zai. Of all people, for the players to look up against as Zai scaled out to gold rarity weapon.
Yeah, the Zais are looking very, very juiced up, very, very stacked. And like I was saying earlier, once that Zai gets online, off spawn, that first Yang is very, very tight for traditionally these siphons. Now, Ares going to be running the Syra variation of Simon. Siphon, we saw the first day this comp go absolutely nuts, but we saw Bauda actually using it when they were going crazy, getting tons of kills, but they've switched off their healer. I'm curious to see why they have switched off, but we'll have to see for the first yank. But first, Alliance NY7, purple weapon, ult is going to be engaged, B1's going to be engaged. All ults are already out for Alliance. It looks like they're backing off right now. They're backing away from the Syra ult. The Syra ult really sets up for an easy wombo with the Takeda ult as well, but one of the weaknesses of Syra is just backing off and grappling out.
Exactly, 16-second duration for that version variation one of the ultimate, so that teams can go ahead, back away, come right back in, unless they had a preemptive lockdown. But for Kakashi getting caught by the parry, double parry coming in from Yuma, might be looking for the F1, but that whisk throw could connect, and it does. Revenge gets caught through, invests the F to back away, gets caught by another blue focus, and the spam comes out of the way. DRG Kakashi with the parry, and finds Yuma again and again with the dash LMBs. This is another kill for DRG, coming up to 5 inside of these fights outside of the outskirts of the Med-Top region.
I don't know, sir. I feel like Syra is a decent pick, and HY is going to be going against Ares right now. That Syra ult, just off the back of that Syra ult, they're able to fend off the pressure from HY. Chili's down to 1 HP, and now EWG on the outside is going to activate the running away. Hypercube is going to get picked off and ended. Kanghai has a Moonbane though. Can he pick up his teammates right now? Lue is gonna get the parry onto Kanghai. Goldem's gonna be coming out. Can this Wuchen survive? He gets lifted off. Light attack is gonna come on. Burn is ticking down. Kanghai needs to survive right now in the Moonbane. He's not able to. EWG ignores it and finds the kill.
Another disengagement coming in from CYN after the Moonbane cast, meaning that they have a spot in their mindset to look past the opponents, but noticing that they haven't seen any ultimates active. This means that CYN can take a risk against soloing it off here. There it is, going to be a chance as Cookie, charging the cold sword in the background, utilizes the F skill to come right back into the fight. Now, Kamoka proxy F skill, proxy ultimate, having to worry about the pole sword action coming back and forth. EWG will back off and cast their Moonbane, the second Moonbane in the game, the only one left. And this is where CYN completely disengages towards these wall 4B, getting caught by that grapple strike into the last strike from the pole sword. Cookie finds the elimination for 6, and now looking to try to lock down the remaining members of CYN.
CYN has to back out here, and this is the tough part of selecting fights versus the CN teams. They don't use Moonbane offensively. They always hold it to hold their location on the map. You don't know they have it, and out of nowhere, after you aggress onto them, after another fight, they have an ace card up their sleeve. They have an extra Moonbane. CYN in zone, trying to ice their way out of this situation, trying to cut noise, but it's not going to matter. Kimmy's going to get found out by EWG. Surrounded by 2, what can Kimmy do except fall? The gold pole sword has been devastating from EWG's Cookie off spawn.
Yeah, and CYN's Vega is going to be the only remaining player left, making their way towards a Grizzly Rise. Having to be careful about any notion about any of the players. Hypercube in the vicinity of this field, if they hear anything from the background, Big spotted him, but he got spotted. F2 with the uppercut, you can't do it, bro. R&B, oh, shy headshot, I can't believe it. And it happens right in the face of danger. Lue getting the elimination for EWG, 8 kills so far. Having the, the amount of goals they have, they could just go ahead and buy purple armors if they're still available. But for EWG, harnessing this gold means that they're able to buy Jades of their own selection later on into the game. They still have to take the Rumyang if they want to just create the superseded lead, or if it's too risky due to mitigation factors alone.
Yeah, EWG, even though they have blue armors, having that gold rarity weapon when you're these burst compositions, when you're the Viper comp, when you're the Zyphon comp, weapon rarity actually matters a lot more than your actual armor rarity. A lot of the times, your strategies are set up to burst a singular target, to surround and execute. You don't really need to go the distance, you don't really need to survive, you just need to land that first kill, and Zai will clean up. Matari plus his defensive Kurumio to open, absolutely devastating, especially on the outside. We saw on the back of Matari and Kurumi, teams able to disengage from that Syra pressure. That's the one tough part about Siphon. Unless you get on top of your opponents, they do have a chance to back off and get away. Now the Temi ult, we'll have to see how well the Temi ults are going to be placed to trap people. Now, one thing that's different is inside the realm of rank, you're going nowhere. There's no kiting choices. It's mono y mono, and we got EWG versus DRG for Polarott's first realm of Yang.
I'm seeing a Cyan Fang for Dongqing and a jabbing for their Takeda. So now we see an immediate parry off the rip, and there's the F skill to be casted out. DRG Concoction drops right throughout the effect, but gets knocked back. Looking to charge up, releases the blue into a parry. Now the ultimates from Matari comes out. The invisibility might be a little bit more danger than they're looking for. The Takeda ultimate is being burned out for a couple of seconds, as well as its Mulch ultimate dissipating completely. Scare rush into the spot, into the drop down blue doesn't happen, but Kakashi uses ultimate now. The Sire ultimate for the next 16 seconds could turn this fight around, or just give the heal off.
DRG's Donkey Takeda is going to get taken down. This is a tough part of Zyra. Her heal just isn't as much. Now we are going to trade out kills. Wait a second, I spoke a little bit too soon. EWG is going to lose one member. Now Kakashi putting up the pressure on the Zyra. Is this a support player or is this attacking player? Oh my goodness, DRG is turning this around. 2v3 situation down to a 1v1 situation. Loye versus WX98. Overhold's going to be coming in. Focus attack is out. 1, 2, 3. Grapple cancel into the light attack, into the crouching horizontal. But Loye fighting back with the dash through. Gets the uppercut, but combo break is going to deny the damage. Dropping down, getting a little poke damage. Loye backing off. Last hit situation. Foot max range release. WX98 looking for that last little bit. He's gonna get skill rush. Wait a second, we got ultimate back online. Gold F is gonna come in now. Loye with the Datsu is gonna clutch it up for EWG.
Absolutely clutch moment and catching the ultimate at the moment that he needed, and having the gear to be picked up. Another cold pole sword in the hands of EWG, and the purple bow to be picked up alongside just making sure they can get a a good amount of going through here. I know they actually picked up an overlord as well, so both pole swords have any benefit for it. If you get struck by the stone form, that's an immediate level 3 charge, and that's a lot of damage, especially since Zai's in the mix to try to deny the parries just by going for gold focuses, and then boom, release. Meanwhile, we got GG outside of their Romanian victory, taking fights up against what seems to be Bauda, and Bauda having that focus slide, forcing out GGS to use the F skill, comes right back into the fight as the Hottie ultimate is active.
Man, Vermilion's buff team on Vermilion's buff team, and GG versus Bauda. Both of these teams devastating in the first round. Now with their horns locked in again. CGS looking for the flank. Cannonball back. One can show me GG. Does this comp still work? Yushan's going to come out from CGS. Second phase engage. CGS coming in with the slam. Sparia all down. Temiel trying to peel some of this barrier pressure. You bobbing, weaving, skill rushing, using as Takeda shoves right now. But CGS staying on top of him, smothering him with the pressure. These rocks not offering much cover. And the barrier ult from 330 is going to put you down.
Putting the launch into the launch pad, making sure that the V1 comes out. You can see the third party comes in from the Tesla Viper Wuchen. And which chain could it be other than seeing 330 get the elimination, gets peak? And it may be YZG's position of finding that third party. Now there's one set of kills that comes out because this is Vermilion wielders, right? This is extra kills on the board. The V1 comes out from ZXZ. CJS looks to try to kite around. He's safe from the stun. He can go right back in and try to protect his teammate or even get a kill. 17S gets caught by the blue focuses. Now the Mortar Defiance effect still coming in for that one for the Wuchen comes through, but there's CJS trying to burn it, forcing the Wuchen port out as it comes through. DRG are rushing right back into the situation, and Dongqing is looking to proc out his ultimate as Takeda.
Oh my goodness, GG's in a tough position. They have to be careful with their buff getting lower and lower. It's down to 90 seconds right now. Tough situation. This is a fresh team. This is a fresh DRG. They still have 3 ultimates online. Takeda ult is going to be invested. First player is going to fall. Bauda's your round coming back in, and he's going to fall as well. DRG with a wonderful fourth party cleaning up the remnants of this fight.
Now the Tian High ultimate, KFL Ryomen, baby. Going out here towards this melee grab range, finds some MVP and a double slam Whammo and a ballista shot to come out to just help him out just a little bit more. But Hypercute's BLC finding the kill against Hong and is creating the spacing that was not in the benefit of KFL for now. The Rummy Yang depletion has another 90 seconds before it takes Ryomen's life, and most likely for the team to drop down. Viper ultimate might be enough trouble for Ryomen. The 5-second stun duration doesn't get fully target priority prioritized, but he ends ultimate. He has combo breaker for the F1. We lost Wendy, but we still get caught by another Tess and Chen just being saved for this occasion, and the extension downhill goes out from there. Yak still alive, but for KFL losing 2 key opponents.
Yeah, it looks like KFL did have a completion, and another, again, EU1, EU violence. They fought each other off spot, and now in the mid game, looks like Hypercube is going to get the best of KFL. MVP coming in with the third party, seeing what's up. They don't really know what happened here. No ult on their names, 20% on Hong. They're happy to grab some loot, back off right now. Now looking at the scoreboards, Bowden is all the way up at the top at 5 kills. GG with 8 kills again, starting off the day super fast. They did go win that first Rebel Yang. Now we're gonna get a replay. KFL versus Bowda. Ryomen in the thick of things. Bubble's gonna be coming down, going for the classic parry in the center, looking for the opening, but getting flanked by you over and over. Ryomen's gonna pop this opening. What can you show me, Ryomen?
Now the Temi ult comes down this direction from Bowda, just to separate the Temi from the Tianhai, and Tianhai look to take the bait because then Yak gets caught to the elimination. Ryomen has no ground to shoot between the wind wall and the pillar, but he finds one grab. He looks to slam down, and it's K that just takes care of winning the background from you. And now it's all 3v1 in this spot where Ryomen gets one grab, but not enough time for the slam down. But the situation was dire anyhow. Bowda's you finding gold halberds off of that Romy Yang victory and having 5 eliminations for the team right now. They're looking to try to kite around here at the east of this Plume Castle. They're looking to try to get into the Romy Yang because YZG is here, MVP is here. I see a meteor coming in here from most likely Team Ares, and they are making sure to go off this end to deny a fight because EWG are coming off this end.
Yeah, precise play coming out from Bowda versus KFL. That Temiol able to ice off Ryomen's pressure. Now we're going to get GG again. Always a pleasure to watch them inside Rumbling. And what can you show me on this cannon? But we haven't seen this comp in such a long time from the perspective of Yushan. We take to the skies, dropping down, staying out of the center. Matari's going to be diving in on us. We are denying the double team right now. CGS is going to use the cube, come back in. Now coming back with the flank. Matari ult's going to be invested. We are going to respond with the Yushan ult. CGS looking to peel off this Matari right now, getting the stagger of the Infidus players. Hadi ult's going to be invested on Team BD as well. At the pillars, we cannot take too much damage here. Yushan very vulnerable in the 2024 meta. He's not as tanky as he used to be. We see TGS falling down on a 1 HP situation. He's going to pop the damage reduction, but can he survive as he de-transforms?
We had 3-3-0 on an advancing group heal, so he's able to go ahead and start the mech mode and try to get the heals off. But the burns come out here. The Zai tries to force it out. Like, there's the kill. TGS goes down. Cookie looks to invest the F-skill, catches the Hadi in midair, and goes for the gold focus strike again, and looks towards the Fairy Shen, who is denying the push coming out, but there goes down for GG, with EWG having all 3 teammates still alive into this fight. The F2 shot comes out from the Fairy Shen, but with that last ensnared soul from the Zai, this is going to be EWG's victory, catching themselves the gold armor, as well as another gold weapon in the field to play, a great sword, so many great sword weapons, and having a chance of actually picking themselves up a prize fall. Now coming into play here, prize fall with pole swords go a little bit more in a dangerous situation, but we got other dangerous situations happening right now. YZG are up against Team Ares.
YZG is going to be messing that V1 ultimate. Stun's going to come out in the Kuzo, but on the back, Yishao is going to pop his ult, but Bowda's you comes down with the Takeda, with the kill steal, just a freight train coming through, and Kuzo is going to run for his life right now. KFL, Yak on the outside as well. Kuzo has the flat ground, has a lot of room right now, but the max grapple distance is going to narrow the gap. Kuzo desperately trying to go the other way, pops the Takeda ult, but Yu's on his back. He is going to get jumped over now. Yu with the double charge again, putting Kuzo out of his misery. He can't get away, and Bowda's going to pick a nice 2-kill with their Draco Storm.
Yeah, 95 seconds left on that Draco Storm, and they can still put that pressure. 8 eliminations for Team Bowda, and a Firefly cage for them to invest into. Yu does not want to take that time yet. He wants to see if there's any outspread players leading into this area, into the Feather Lake. Now, for MVP, over by the Camel's Hump, they're making their approach in terms of this area and just pushing into the western side of the map for Shadow 3 to be closing in just 40 seconds. For MVP now, having fully kitted out purple weapons and purple armor, the mitigation is there. The resets are available for them, considering that Xi'an is playing out the Matari and is seeing if whether or not MVP can get more eliminations into their games, considering that if they get themselves into their day 2 scoreline just to pass that 12th place threshold, they're currently at 3 and just hoping to try to do more since there is 21 opponents left in the field.
Now remember, Servio, and ladies and gentlemen at home, top 12 have to get through, and we're seeing that threshold being around that 29 points. Now, a singular day, I imagine it's probably going to be around 60 to 70 in order to get through. We are still only on game 2, and we're seeing just how hard it is at this level to survive just past the mid game. Even if you try to play very, very slow, the level of play after this year, after 2024, everyone has this map downloaded. Everyone has really, really locked in rotation strategies, hunting paths. Everything is... There's nowhere left to hide. In order to make it past this mid game, you need to find decent fights off spawn. You need that loot in order to withstand the winning Yang teams. Now, even GG has fallen inside the realm of Yang, getting upset. This is one of the things I was curious about, Surf. The reason why Cannonball phased out is that it struggled against the new Matari buffs.
Yeah, and now seeing Xion, the Matari, getting targeted off the rip, being in the line of fire, going straight to the back line and making sure that whether or not the Matari can capture that Fairy Shed, the combo breaker comes out, the parry comes through from CGS, and looks to try to jump extension it and can't do so, but the Fairy Shed mech is involved. There's the parry in the background coming out. CGS having the teleporter ready from the Hottie from LXM, looks to try to re-aggress upon the opponents inside of the Fortress of Kaviani. Now the cannon mode is going to give something of a, of a nuisance for MVP right now, but that Forbidden Seal says otherwise. Not having proc ult, CGS won't have an issue with this one, but he's going to use the F2. He gets himself the uppercut, but the denial blue focus vertical comes out from MVP as Hong makes sure that he can try to keep the team going through, but the blue focuses get spammed as CGS is looking to turn this one around.
Nice job from MVP to reset and reposition, but the consistent pressure from CJS and the backup from his team absolutely decimating. It was looking good for a second, and out of nowhere, an explosion of damage is going to come in there. Now CGS looking to close this out, but Hong has another thing to say about it. Dragon Slayer's going to come out. Krumion on the outside's coming out. F2's coming in with the uppercut again, but GG cannot be stopped, will not be denied, but Bowda's you showing up with the third party.
Bowda with a smiling face right now, knowing that these kill eliminations might be easy freeload, but the problem is whether or not another party might come in here, because I do see whether or not the res is to be occurring up there. LTZ looking to try to get some heal back over there, but Yu is getting pressured on by that Wei Shan. This is outside of Forbidden Seal Zone, so they can take any investment they need necessary as the Fairy Shem that comes out from 3-3 again. No burn procs might give enough chances, and there it is. Since Yu is able to get that Flamebringer, he's able to pick up the Soul Bloom. The rotation for Team Bowda is flawless right now, coming out at 9 eliminations and picking apart these teams piece by piece as the layers lead on. The Forbidden Seal has given the whole map an entire signal as to where to go and where that fight is occurring, because DRT are also here in the mix.
Yeah, YZG as well. At the top, though, EWG has been slurping up all the kills, already up to 17 kills. Looks like Miss Hugh's able to pick that Rebirth Charm, but everyone's here for the party. GG, were they able to cleanse their soul blooms now? Do they have the money? Didn't get a chance to see it to res their teammates. Will there even be a res now that Miss Hugh has res both his teammates? YZG, though, showing up with the Viper Comp, wants to pick off one of these lone players right now, but everyone is spread out right now. GG found out is going to get that parry, doesn't get surrounded by Weasley. YZG, CXZ still searching for those GG members, but they are out of there. They're not getting surrounded today. Everyone has to be careful, though, because EWG has shown up here. They're waiting for the perfect opportunity. They got 17 kills. Are they going to get more?
Yeah, EWG Cookie, though, to snag that kill off of LTZ. But YZG can loot up that body for free. They have this area in their dominance sake. Now for the Spirit Well. This is Draco's Torn Spirit Well Battle You, just with the Longsword, Phoenix Blast, and he's going crazy. He's going to be looking to try to use his Longsword. He also has the chance of being able to pick up any other Jades. I'm pretty sure I saw Team Bowda having a Thunderstorm on standby, but also just being able to see if whether or not they can be able to use a katana in the standpoint, just because if you can combine Thunderstorm with Soul Slash, then you're having a field day. But we're looking at a Meteor that EWG Cookie is able to pick up with the Rupture Gale Orb, as well as a pistol shot with a Thunder Call Jade, seeing a Phoenix Blast on XI as well, is picking up a Velocity Untold, but that prize fall from Li Wei is still in the hands of his own. He has a chance of using a Great Sword for the aerial run, but he also has the Blistering Edge alongside Overlord. So for these teams, if the Great Sword Matari comes out, it's a lot of damage. If it's a Pulse Matari, it's a lot of damage. Either way, they can succeed with the motion. They have 18 kills in this game alone, and we still see Team Bowda kiting out this area towards the Fortress Kaviani and just looking off against KFL Ryoman.
Oh no, Ryoman running into Bowda's you coming in from zone, trying to survive into this end game. Unlikely to survive. Bowda's you picking up the Draco Storm as well. Bowda they started out yesterday very fast, very strong, but then they started slowing down. Not today, Surf. They're keeping up the momentum. They got the Draco Storm now. Now they still have to deal with EWs, but I've been saying this over and over, ladies and gentlemen. At the end game, this is where Takeda shines. The fact that he gets that gold ultimate online, the fact that the rest of his team gets way more looted, provides him with so much anti-burst capabilities. Zai's power spike really starts tapering off past that second Yang. The gold weapon doesn't really add to her as much, neither does the armor. She becomes very vulnerable to these super beefed up Takedas. Now, EWG versus Ares, Yishao popping the ultimate, suffocating EWG. Wait a second. EWG, a little bit of an overheat, a little bit of an overextension, gonna be falling down to the NA boys. Yishao with the white armor, finding a kill onto EWG.
YZG want to take initiative on this end, as well as CXZ having the common cannon must be meaning only one thing, Rupture Gale Orb with the burn. And now HY from Team Iverq, BLZ taking the chance to just denying the chase up from Misu to try to get out of the zone. The counter grapple is strong with this one. The F3 comes out and it knocks Misu right back to the corner where he was trying to avoid. Now he's stuck in the zone, and this tick damage coming in passively in a forced storm form, meaning that Misu can, yes, he can use F, but these teams now have full position locked down onto him. Misu going down here for Team Ares. Ares still having one teammate left alive, and EWG XI coming through out here. The Jin Army being the final place. Where the Moonbane's going to drop here. You see Team Battle is going to be looking to try to get away from that Moonbane blast. They still couldn't avoid it, but YCG takes support out, as it seems that DRG want to take any chances. About to you. Okay, little bit scary with taking that Moonbane blast, but he's going straight in there.
Yeah, he's gonna punch YZG. Wu Chen porting out of there, diving in with the Phoenix Blacks. You leading the charge, has the Draco Storm right now, sending out the beams, but he is gonna get slowed down by the V1. Doesn't matter though, we're back in there. Chop's gonna be coming down from CXZ, finding the kill onto EWG's Cookie. Bout as you though has 2 more shoves to his name. Can he get some value out of it? Diving into the thick of things. Everyone's running away from you. They don't want any piece of this. Everyone's spreading out. But now, Baudo has to worry about, they're giving up the Spirit Well for free. There's a lot of kiting potential right now. Should they go in and contest the Spirit Well? It looks like Yu's going to switch his attention to the Spirit Well.
As this comes out here, he gets the Abs cast. He's going to come down for the Temi, and this is going to be coming all in from Team Bauda. No Takeda ultimate up for you, having started out at 35%, now up to 55%, but gets caught by the Dazzle and the Roller coming out. Not a lot of damage considering he can get mitigated by going back in that Kurumi circle, but Syra from Kakashi from Team DRG is going back and forth for the Dazzles and trying to connect the horizontals and everything, all the blue focuses. And another Roller spin comes out from the sidelines as Yu gets caught by the whip throw. A little bit dangerous. The Spirit Well does not go into the hands of Bauda, but they're still putting the pressure on as DRG are able to pick up that buff, the White Tiger Crowis, and forcing their hands and having that second ultimate to be available.
Yeah, they've been over here right now. Bauda, no ultimates to the name, and now Kakashi with the Syra ultimate coming in with the microwaves, beaming everyone down. Tell me else going to be invested. Everyone's just getting out of it, but CGS is going to be left behind. Noble sacrifice him, and LXM's trying his best to peel for him, but with blue armor reset, he's not going to be able to. DRG able to fend off from the pressure of GG, and now they have the White Tigers. Now you on the outside, Bauda still sitting there, no walls to the name. Everyone else on the lobby looking from the outside. They have to be careful right now. YZG on the Viper comp got that nice reset. They can come in out of nowhere. Use down to 1 HP situation. Tap dodge, roll over and over, but it's not going to matter. The jumping LB is going to close it out for Kakashi. DRG lost a player though. They're down to 2 players. Both of these teams fully invested in taking each other out.
Now the Whirler comes back around, and this is going to be the rotation for the next 3.5 minutes. I can call it. There's going to be a res attempt on Dongqing 9. If they can get this res, this is big. This is their Takeda. He can come back. Armor swap, please give the teammate the armor, please, because now the reset comes out for them to manually heal everything up. But there is the pressure in the background. You can see YZG are putting the line of sight onto the opponents, and they find all the gear necessary right now. YZG up to 6 kills, having Viper ultimate ready for CXE. He's going to probably use it defensively in this manner of speaking and just go straight towards the body of Dongqing. More valuable for them. But Team Bauda having you back in the frame, picked back up by the team, and is able to kind of work out for the next remaining 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
That was some straight oogly boogliness with Bauda and DRG just fully invested into it. I'm surprised that YZG waited for so long to go in. They ended up trading rests, getting both up, but luck of the draw, YZG ends up choosing DRG instead, but Baldo is back right now. You and the boys, can they close this out? Can they have another massive game? EWG got cut at the heels. You from the top rope with the flame over, cooking up DRG's Kakaxi, but YZG's QGG is going to pick up the kill right now. You on the top ground, wants to secure this high ground, doesn't want anyone coming in with the flank, and now dropping in with a flank with this up. Phoenix Blast into the zone, tons of damage coming out. The parries are spamming, but you holding up, not going to go out there. He is going to get helped right now. Tons of damage coming down. He's going to pop this gate hold. Beams coming out right now, getting juggled by the F3. You in a tough situation, but the Krumion is going to bail him out.
Batterpeak doing the support line is necessary, but the roller to deny every single one of these, and Yu's still going to go ahead and continue the pressure. He has Fearance available, even though it's 4 count for the level 2 V3 variation, he is still going in. You can see how much comes down from Batterpeak. If he can get this res off his teammate, Team Battle could come in here with a full swing in motion, but there is the V1 from ZXZ, the Viper ult, to deny the pressure coming out, a multi-way stun, targeting out the Takeda, allowing for that Merciless Havoc, maybe potentially for that stanchion to come out. CXC finding his own motion against you. Cookie on the offset, finds a kill off against Jiran, going down after that res. That peak was initiated off of, and YCG QGG goes down. Hypercube are looking to survive here with 8 eliminations. Kong Hai goes down, their Wuchen, and now having BLZ with that ultimate with the V1 is waiting for the perfect time and opportunity into this endgame circle for it to end for the last minute.
HY, the EU boys showing up in this endgame. They're already up to 8 kills on the back of this Viper composition. YZG as well. They've kept each other alive. These Viper comps picking off all of these sturdy compositions. Wait a minute, KVL Yak is still alive over here. The Hottie solo player surviving. There's 7 people left alive. Who is going to take this out? HY on the high ground, YZG on the low ground, Yak in the air trying to stall it out. DRG's WX98 stalling out in midair. The zone is closing in. HY trying to get these squirrels out here, trying to get these flying squirrels down to the ground, pick up the remaining kills. But Chili and BLZ are the last 2 remaining, looking for the focus. BLZ's gonna get 1 shot, and the stun is coming out. Late stun coming out from the other Viper. The brawler's gonna be coming through. Wait a second. BLZ has an all-you-can-eat buffet, but CXZ from YZG gonna pick up the kill with the F3 and the Phoenix Blast and the parry. Wait a second, CXZ's going crazy, and he's gonna close it out as the last man standing.
YZG coming out here, tremendous game, and most likely taking most of the points of that multiplier. Hoping to see whether or not EWG were able to survive out as well. Katie being into victory. That is EWG's MVP. I'm gonna give him the peace sign. Yeah, we want that. And this is gonna be where the motion comes out for EWG, working throughout that time frame of getting the Viper on top.
Yeah, there might be a hair buff going on right now. A lot of these players dyeing their hair, looking like the main characters of their own anime. EWG, massive game from them. They had so many kills going into that game. Unfortunately, Team Aries coming in with the green from Xiao on the Syra, finding the kill on them. They're not able to close it out. Shipwreck, it's gonna be straight oogly booglies off spawn. We're gonna get Baudas versus CYN off spawn, as well as Aries. All of NA down here. Kimmy and crew, Big and B setting up. Gonna get that wine brown reset, but first we're gonna go to SYN versus KFL. Ryomen and the crew from EU have to get it going if they hope to qualify.
Now it's going to be SYN coming through into the game of Mine with Mines, 1 HP in a dream. MVP Hong finds a kill elimination. Sobel picked up immediately upon access, and 3 grapples to his name. He couldn't find a chance to try to chase down towards his ravine, straight into the heart towards Loves. Now, as SYN's Loves is going to go ahead and get caught by that grapple stagger, this is where the team lines it up. The F2's invested. That means that there's no escape from Atari. A parry like that off against Loves is a death sentence, and that's where it's going to lead down towards with 2 kills. MVP taking it through. KFL, though, in the background down south, and looking to try to loot around here while MVP takes Game of Mine for the win.
Yeah, MVP with that third party, but Windy in the background is going to pick off SYN, but now MVP making their way to the white armor. EWG on the outside. Cookie and Luye fading out right now, but MVP wants this fight right now. Tessa ult is online. Hong looking for the backstab with Viper. Light text coming out from Luye. Gold Apps is going to be popped out. No more combo break to his name, but Cookie's going to come up with the parry, denying Hong's pressure. Hong with the F3. doing a ton of damage. Tessa ult's gonna be coming out. He misses the focus attack opportunity. They're dropping down. Doesn't matter. He's gonna find Loye. And now EWG on the back foot. MVP. Nice job off spawn. Hong's V1 coming out. Tessa ult's whiffing out. But the stun is gonna get onto Zai. Can he peel over? And Cookie's gonna chop in. Get the parry onto Hong. Hong going for the reset, going for the scale rush. Cookie down to his last minute situation, but KFL's coming in with the third party.
Big cleanup crew coming in aisle 7. That's a V1 teleport. Gotta get it with the shopping cart out the ways because KFL is still looking to try to buy that mustard jam. If everything comes out for Yak, he's gonna be spreading it through the toast that he's got on standby. If everything is lined up for this sandwich right now, I'll stop with you now. We're gonna have to take a look at Cena because Yak is looking crazy right now. The Tessa check got 3 hits, so that's 300 heals, but that's not gonna be enough as Shion gets the R&B spam coming out. The Tessa is gonna go ahead and go down, but the Cyro is just coming back up right now.
That definitely made me very hungry and satisfied KFL's hunger for some kills off spawn. KFL now up to 3 kills off spawn, finding a nice timing attempt right there, not backing out completely. Nice job for them. They're going to be scaling up to blue armor. EWG on the outside though has 3 ultimates online. You have to be careful versus Viper. All it takes is a well-timed V1, a couple trees, setting up for a slick shot. But you see EWG sneaking up right now. Does KFL spot this flank play? Yak backing up right now, leading the flank. They see EWG moving out, but KFL able to lock it down, has that 3 kills, going to be setting up for the Rumble Yang. Can they win this first Rumble Yang? They have the first kill off spawn. That's the first step. The second step is the next Yang, but you got the likes of GG, and this is how dangerous GG is. When they're uncontested, their macro is absolutely insane. They almost have 23,000 to the name. Purple Armor into Takeda, already at Purple Ult. This first Rumble Yang, someone is going to have to go against them.
Yeah, people showing up to the Rumble Yang, waiting outside, hands in their pockets, and having the shirt just like, I'm just a chill guy. I'm waiting this one out. And if everything comes for the teams, it's just going to be a chance of what we saw in round 1, right? We saw Padoria. We saw how many teams were waiting outside the Rumble Yang. Alliance, a team playing Viper and Tessa at that point in time, rushed it right through because they were recognizing the fact that one of the players didn't have the ultimate. If that happens again, we would see that frame 1 coming out from these teams. And talking about Alliance playing their Sand Siphon this round, not having level 2 yet for that third variation ultimate. For NY7, this is going to be a time for him just to have him and his teammates pick up the gear as alongside the time in the routing into Celestra coming from the Pool of Cleansing. Now, for Bowda U, they're also running a reciprocation of backing away from Team Alliance. This is going to be a Blue Armor Yaron who gets caught by a stagger, and this is the back line that gets pushed as he was losing the race into grapples. But the F1 from NY7 committing the ultimate. Tumultu's going to go through while Tessa then Chen forces it out for the team to disengage.
Tessa comes out, NY7 leading the charge, but the Wuchen port very well timed right now. Gonna deny the pressure from that Temi ult, but NY7 still has his Takeda ult. Now he is only at white ult. That's a baby Takeda ult. Not a ton of pressure, but still the threat of it. You don't really want to pull invest. There's no way to know what the Takeda ult is at until he pops that ultimate. So Bowda is going to opt to find another better fight instead of hard committing. Now, generally, when you do play the Viper composition, you always want to find a third-party situation. Yeah. Even if you catch a team off guard, generally, you want to catch them when they're most vulnerable. When they're next to trees, you get a drop-down, just triple stun. But other than that, investing beyond that just really underutilizes your team's capabilities. It really, really shines when you're able to go in and out, find a quick soul bloom off of 1 cooldown, and continue the hunt. You don't really need to get a full team wipe, but just chopping down teams over and over, as because there's so many other Viper teams, really sets up everyone. It's kind of like endgame when monks help monks. Vipers generally help other Vipers inside the Chinese tournament scene.
Yeah, and seeing the connections that come through their skills and their ultimates just allow for a quick succession, but also using to utilize it at its utmost efficiency. If they see the 5-second stun duration, they're going to try to use their ultimate to extend that stun duration, or even seeing a blow-up coming from both the skills of the F3 and backing it up with their own. Maybe potentially for the snag, right? Always looking towards the yoink of the kills, but seeing how fast they can do it without it causing any sort of consequence. But over by the one shrine in the Sunbelt Dwelling, we're going to see GG take to the skies as SYN are just in the nearby vicinity. Team Bowda on the southern end of the Sunbelt Dwelling. So whether or not they want to take a chance at just waiting it out here for dear life, they can go ahead and snag. This is the perfect case scenario. This is that third party that we were just talking about. Having a chance for Team Bowda they have the oppositions in their their benefit. They can look towards GG, or they just follow suit and just keep tracking them in case they want to take fights in their own hands.
Yeah, nice talking coming out for battle, but GG, we saw them a little bit earlier. They were up till around 25,000. You're seeing that investment going in. They buy double purple armor. They're setting up for this Rumble Yang. They're probably the most stacked team off spawn. Now, they don't... This is traditionally how we've seen GG play. They usually only get kills if people contest their loot pad. If not, they generally will keep to themselves until they get to first Yang. That's when the snowball starts happening. They start picking up the pace. They start playing the Yang depletion situations. But still, this slow, methodical play is what GG is known for. Who can beat them on their Siphon composition? There's only a handful within the league who get close to how good they are inside the realm of Yang. I really was curious to see how Siphon plays against the new Syra composition. Unfortunately, not any Syra comps into this. Can GG defeat the more scaled up Zais? I mean, after seeing their loot, I don't know if even a scaled Zai at this point can contest. Purple Takeda or Purple Ultimate Takeda doesn't do a good job, but again, it is Team GG. We've seen such stellar play coming out from LXM today. His flanks have been impeccable. Can he keep up that same discipline?
Yeah, 3-3-0 opting in, having the Jade selection of the Assassin's Lunge, and we're seeing the tune-up proc coming out here, but LXM procking a Sap Jade, Juggernaut, having Poison Splash, having Rupture Gale Burn. This is where GG can take this fight immediately into the realm, and in case of anything, you can see LXM becoming the savior for the team if it comes down towards parries or whatnot for the range shots. But for YZG on the opposite end of the Rumble Yang, playing their pool pick into the Sand Siphon, having a Hepta Detach, an explosive armor and focus light on QGG, absolute crazy, and an advanced group heal on 17S. This team's absolutely stacked going to their first Rumble Yang up against one of the Titans.
Yeah, YZG, they absolutely devastated last round. Can they start off this round strong? Nice focus slide coming out from QGG. So much pressure coming out of this. Heavy ult is going to be invested. Takeda ult has to come out from CGS. He is going to poke him out, but QGG is going to pop his Takeda ult as well. He's putting on a ton of pressure. Just with the focus light, he's going to get a giant parry. Kurumi ult are going to be invested. Brawling out right now, and still QGG just sliding, vibing, getting the slashes in, doing a ton of damage in the center right now. He hasn't been used more than one slash. Second slash is finally going to come out. Has 2 more slashes to his name. Focus slide keeps coming out. He's absolutely devastating GG, but they're doing a good job stabilizing, setting up, and now 17S on his team is getting really low. Can QGG peel for him?
Open to see whether or not the focus light still comes out. The F1 initiated. QGG looks to somersault, goes straight in for the shunt, but 17S being down, CXZ being down. QGG is only at one hand. There's the explosive armor as mentioned, but there is no problem here. The F2 locks him in place. That's GG's victory and putting out the works. They get the gold weapon, they get the buff. This is their last purple armor on standby for LXM this time. Finding gold dual blades to be picked up, and as well as just making sure whether or not that Soul Shatter is going to be utilized. Now here's going to be where that fan has been accrued. It's purple rarity, so whether or not they want to opt in for that or get a hands in using Assassin's List for purple dagger, that's their choice to be made, Raven.
Yeah, it looked like QGG was doing a ton of pressure with the focus slide, but on the outside, we just didn't see LXM doing a ton of damage with those Temi flanks. Now, you do give up some burst damage if you're just focusing on the focus slide instead of just charging up a triple charge over and over. We'll have to see if YZG can bring it back, but first we're going to get Alliance with this Befriending Plus. They have EWG in their crosshairs, MVP in the north versus Bauda. You did get staggered for a second right now on the outside. Hong going to be dropping down with the Dragon Slayer, looking for the double charge. Not even going to hit it, but Shinju, his teammate, is going to get the parry, and now Bauda's peak is going to fall. Yeren on the outside, charging up the horizontals. Hong down to the last focus attack situation, comes in with the F3. He doesn't care. He's still trying to get in there, help his teammates out, but now the 2v1's coming out. He's running for his life right now. V1's going to be coming out. MVP looking to clear out Bauda. Yu's going to use his ultimate to try to tank the damage. He's not able to. Bauda's year-round now on the run, trying to get away, and MVP's going to pick up a nice upset kill onto Bauda.
Now northeast of the Southern Wings Magic Receiver event with the parry, the charge of Ryuma to connect as much damage in a short amount of time as possible. Cookie finds a teleport for the Wu Chen to get the teams out onto one of the tree houses. This is actually the tree house that's directly up past the Bayuma. Spotting up the Beacon of Light, goes straight in there, and seeing how these eliminations are coming out here, we can see in the kill feed, Bauda's Yaron going down in that fight against MVP for Xi. Looking for a try to go for a drop down blue focus if we can, but NY7's F1 is up. The test and chain is good for 3, and now it's up to whether or not Cookie can survive it with the F1, but XI catches the moment that we needed to see from them. They find the connection where all 3 targets are connected, and they're all lined up, but then all of a sudden, the drop down blue from YZG.
EWC Exi down to his last little bit. YZG putting on the pressure on the Takeno's gonna be coming down, chopping him down. QGG is gonna pick up the frag. Now keeping up the momentum, keeping up the pressure. The focus slide coming out. Alliance Revenge is gonna fall. Wuchen Port's gonna be coming out. He sees the flash. He sees EWG Cookie in the distance. Are they gonna commit to it? It looks like they called multiple things. Now settling to lock down Cookie, but Cookie with that hesitation is gonna create a ton of distance with that max grapple distance. So much terrain to hide from. Can YZG pick up this kill? Cookie making his way back into Sunwing, into the tree line, getting out of there, but SYN coming out of nowhere. Nice shot from YZG to pop this no ult zone. QGG gonna switch up the pressure. Temiel's gonna be coming out, and now the hunters are becoming the hunted.
I see a Cyro coming out here at the back line to try to allow for distress, but the range is done. There's going to be mines going out for this point with the Stadium LMVs. Hypercube are approaching to the scene in the background. I see you, my boys. And they're rushing down hard onto them. They're making sure they can go ahead for these quick eliminations. And there it is. Mines goes down. Hypercube BLZ going ahead and chasing down YZG. Looking for the F3 connection. Doesn't get it. Looking for a parry. Gets caught by Blue Focus in the background. Now BLZ getting a lot of damage. But the team comes in here for the connection. The Forbidden Seal still being active here. So there's no way they can use ultimates in their kit. But they still got enough time here. And utilizing as much gear they got. The Gold Focus comes through. QGG gets knocked back. 1-2 bow shot from this side as Tessa from Chile, and having the spotting of backing away for one heal and the armor swap like that might even give BLZ enough chances of rushing right back into that fight.
Yo, YZG able to ice off a lot of that pressure, and with that neutral engagement, able to build up their ultimate, smacking their weapons over. We see the pulse sword almost durability gone from how much damage he was doing, but GG's going to be coming in with the third party Alliance. NY7, no ult to his name, but doesn't matter. We got a no ult zone right now. CYN's big in the center of it. Is going to pop that V1. Wuchen Port's going to be invested deep into Sunwing. Kimi and B and Big. Looks like they're going to disengage with this, but at the top roads, we got Hypercube. No sense leading the crowd, looking for that Viper drop. Alliance has to be careful right now, but like they know it's coming. They sense the danger. They're going to be backing out, getting away from these high trees. Not really a safe location with so many Vipers in the lobbies. The high tree line able to provide the cover and distance so you do not hear that ult dropping down on you.
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind for most players. And a shift parry coming from Alex. Rather, I should say the shunt getting parried. Alex getting the kill. Having 3-3 on his side. CJS getting caught passively res over by Celestra, and now it's up to GG with their 8 eliminations. It's getting a full reset right now. No ultimates on the standby for them, but however, we do see Temi at 75 or 76, I should say right now for LXM. XI from EWG finding a use of that Moonbane, or for use of the Reaper Charm, I should say, on hand to get back into the fight. Spearwell being contested though. Ares up against MVP. This is a spot that we like to see. Basically, the gold rarity from Ares kind of scales nicely, but no ultimate has been available for them, and it may not be. But Matario comes out here. Kuzo gets caught through for the enchant, but he has enough time on his hands to back away for one heal and then go back in. But will there be enough time for that?
MVP holding on to this Spirit Well. Double jabbing, I see, but Miley's Hong, we got the jabbing on back, but the V1's gonna be coming out of nowhere. Drop down's gonna come in. Wuchen Port gets him out. Nice reflexes from the Wuchen to get him out of the bad situations. Now HY in the center, they have to be careful. Hong's gonna take to the top ropes, look for the drop down as well. Does HY know it's coming though? Hong threading the needle, trying to wait to the last second. He is gonna drop down. They do see it coming. Mirroring coming out, but first we're gonna go inside the Realm of Yang Alliance versus YZG.
YZG with the F1 coming through here from QGG, having the pole sword on standby, looking to try to see about those semicircles, where are they at, and it comes out in full motion for both sides for the Sand Simons. Now, as you can see, QGG goes ahead, rushes down, focus slide with the action, hold check of Destiny, as Revenge goes ahead and gets a parry. This forces QGG's ult, not where he would like to have used it, but CXC is down to the count with his ultimate, or rather his armor to not be at max, so he's looking for the reset in the background. The Takeda Fearance coming out for NY7 is only going to be used to confirm blues or to deny pressure from the backline, but the focus light comes out. The last Fearing coming through from, I believe, from NY7, just one more count left for him, but we have 2 more for QGG. Scare Rush is good. We're looking for the R&Bs if he can. There's going to be one Fearing, there's going to be one to deny. Now it's up to whether or not that shunt will land, because QGG is going crazy right now.
QGG with the focus slide, just an absolute menace right now, closing out onto Alliance, sliding coming out, no counterplay right now. NY7 doing his best, and they're going to keep him alive right now. Try to stall us out. 50 seconds still inside the realm of Yang. They want to maximize the amount of time they have Yang so they can delay that buff, have a max amount of time on the outside to hunt other teams. But on the outside, we still have Ares, Yishao, Kuzo, Miss You, Purple Armor. My boys are scaled up. NA keeping it up. It looked a little bit hopeless before after day one, but they're coming out swinging, trying out some of the new compositions, having a little bit of success, and now they're heating up. Before starting out the day with 3 kills, moving up to 5 kills. Now we're up to 6 kills. We're chilling right now. We're up to 10th. We got to get past this 50 to 60 point threshold by the end of the day, but NA is looking strong right now. KFL up to 4 kills this game. We haven't seen them on the board yet. Up to 11 points. EWG at 2, and on the CN side, everyone's a little bit equal. No one's really sticking out like before. The AS Regions MVP Hong with the Draco Storm looking and hunting for the tree line. When there's so many Vipers in this lobby, super dangerous. And MVP showing exactly why they're staying up here. If you get caught lacking, you're going to be eating a drop-down V1 by MVP's Hong.
Yep, and catching strays left and right from attacks from other sources of damage. Now, we have YZQGG with that 2-minute timer and 20 seconds onto their Draco Storm, having their fan on the forefront of QGG. Now, if he gets himself in catching Misu being one of the first people that they can take a focus into catching, it would be up to them to just make sure that the procs of skills comes out from the support lines. For CXZ right now, though, he is the necessary forefront line of being the front liner for QGG, as well as making sure that he can get a guaranteed blue focus if he looks for the staggers. And there it is coming out. Yishao goes down as Team Ares loses their Karumi. This gives YZG just another notion about what they have eliminated from the field. They have 7 eliminations, and for QGG right now, just playing up Cicada, but over towards Zestwinery, or rather the Artisan's Grove, I should say, we're going to see a Team Alliance now making their way towards Noble Cave under the Romiang depletion for another 3 minutes and 50 seconds. It's going to be downward spiral here from this point on, unless they can find a team to fully invest in, while keeping the notion that they aren't a Romiang depletion team, unless they just go out all out with the ultimates just before the moments come through from MVP or from KFL in this region.
Alliance has 3 minutes 30 seconds. They are going to find KF here to the north. Zone's going to be pushing both of these teams in right now. Alliance going to full engage right here. They have to get some Sobel and Cleanse. Matari Dash going to be invested. Ult's going to be coming out. Ryomen with a double parry. Wait a second. Windy coming crashing in, getting burned on it. Everyone. The Tempeul's going to be invested. Takedo's going to be invested by Alliance. They're all in. They have to find the kill onto KFL right now. Trying to reset, trying to stabilize on the outside though. Windy getting his team out of there. Ryomen waiting on the side, and now Yak on the outside with the Syra has his ult engaged. Alliance wants no part of it, sitting just out of reach of him, not connecting at all. Takeda ult still online though. Yak dropping down. Now, no ults to their name. Takeda from NY7, and the Kurumi ult's going to be coming out. Windy has his eye ultimate up, holding the zone right now. Windy with the parry right now. Kurumi ult's going to get moved right now, but still, Alliance has to be careful. This doesn't heal their white health. NY7's getting really low. It's going to set the double charge. Ryomen in the center of it. Windy doing his best to stagger everyone. Ryomen's going to fall right now, but both Alliance Revenge and Yoma are down. Windy going to close it out. Gets the uppercut, putting NY7 against the ground, trying to get away from this situation. Light attacks are coming out from Windy, holds the 3, baits out the parry, and now Yak coming in with the third party, and KFL is going to hold the line versus Alliance.
7 eliminations for KFL, but they're deep in the zone. Weakness escalation to get rid of is up to Yax's position, having the time to heal up his HP threshold. He's going to go ahead and opt in for the double vitality heal, giving himself the 1,000 health, but now has to really decide upon if whether or not Ryomen's going to survive. Yes, he will. He doesn't have the weakness escalation at max. He means that KFL lives to fight with their full squad. Sunwings rest. A lot of teams here. GG are skating around here, skating, I should say, off of the southwestern end and making their way towards near of the cosmic pillars. But for GG right now, having no level 3 ultimate just yet, they're just shy of a weapon rarity in making it through. Their Jade's looking pretty snatched still. They got Juggernaut level 4 for LXM. It has been stacking nicely for him. He's got the Soul Shatter. He's got the enhanced Poison Splash and the Sap Jade. It's whether or not another team wants to contest it, because YZG are approaching the siege.
Yeah, YZG, QGG, he's been an absolute menace with the boat side. Now being able with the ban instead. The Spirit Ball, super critical transition in his endgame. YZG, CXZ trying to keep the pressure on. But Temiel's going to be coming out. YZG is going to invest that Krumio, pick up everyone's health up, staying stabilized, trading it out for this Takeda ult. But YZG still has their Temi Krumio online. They have to be very, very careful. GG in a tough pickle right now as the momentum is shifting. YZG just happens to have too much loot. GG realizes this, ends up bowing out, disengaging, and this is what I was talking about, sir. GG is the most disciplined team in the league. They have no ego. In this situation, a losing battle, before they get committed, they're going to back off to fight another day and try to play their end game, where they do super well.
Yeah, and while they're trying to back away, CXZ is still keeping the pressure on CGS. CGS gets caught through, might be caught out, one uppercut, and a dream doesn't come out. GG missing it just barely, and there's Lil looking for grapple staggers and looking for it, but there's a kill elimination, there's a poison splash being procced out from CGS's pockets. Now off to LXM Team Aries. Still, you know, having Kuzo on the standby, but he's in a 1v2. But oh, the drop down blew into the Hefner from 17S as the approach is to be coming out of Kurumi's hands with a blue longsword. But it doesn't matter, it's all about the control. And if GG330 can get enough time to kite around here, he might be able to regroup his teammate. But with two teammates from YZG to lock him down in this corner as Filming Soul, there's a parry, there's the RBs, it's tap dodge, it's rollout season, and he's getting caught with the vertical blue focus. And 17S finding their team's 11th elimination into this game.
GG runs into Aries, I believe it was a Kuzo on the outside, and they get delayed. Instead of getting away, getting that nice reset, YZG gets that blue buff, finds them lacking, and is able to clean up the kills. YZG is looking really poised to take all this. They got triple gold armor, blue buff. Now it's just hunting season for them. Everyone's trying to get away. Sunwing does provide a lot of cover to get away, all the way high up, hiding on the bones. We still have HY in the game, looking for those drop down. Viper stunts are up to 5 kills. KFL up to 5 kills. EU starting to heat up at this halfway point. Aries still has one live member. Remember, placement points do count a lot, and this is one of the best plays to survive with placement points. All these teams are running for the life. CYSB is going to get caught out by YZG, chasing him down. Tesla ult, and her combo break is going to be invested. CYB can't do anything. YZG is just too strong, and he will fall.
Now it comes down to YZG finding their 12th elimination to the spread pool. This is going to keep them up nice and in the position of first to this game in terms of kill count. But Hypercube in the distance, seeing nice success here in spacing out and using the crossbow just to poke some damage out. You see the poison bolt coming out here from BLZ as he's been using that crossbow as often as he can. Has 4 repair chests on standby just to have that for the standard loadout for the inventory for BLZ right now. Just trying to keep, you know, a little bit, you know, cool, calm under pressure. Draco Storm, though, has arrived for the Spear Wheel. It's a buff that will make teams go ahead and go crazy for it. But QGG getting struck by the Moonbane there, not going to have a problem. No other opponents are in the nearby vicinity. But we do see a chance here, whether or not KFL are just hiding in plain sight, or they're not going to be spotted until the moment comes to strike.
Yeah, 80% Moonbane still ticking away. KFL on the high ground with Windy. First Spirit Well is going to be coming out. YZG gonna pop the mushrooms early. Don't want that to come into play a little bit later. But still, they have to be careful right now. At the top right then, they do have KFL lurking. And remember, Hypercube does have that ult on, and it looks like Kuzo and Miss You are still alive. They got the res, and they're sitting all the way at the tippy top of these bones. BLZ, though, if he gets that drop down onto YZG, they can just get deleted. I'm sure that if we get some of their camera views, they're staring up right now, waiting for that inevitable Viper drop right now. Slowly hesitating. They are protected from the range if they occupy this dome. GG's LXM still alive as well, making it way to the bones. Lots of players just stalling out right now on the high ground, but it's really YZG in the driving seat. Can they scoop up every single kill here, or will some of these teams on the high ground find a nice flank play and steal this game away from them?
Oh yeah, LXM losing a little bit of armor, but if the timing is right for GG right now to have him to be the surviving grace, it would be if he doesn't get caught out. But Aries, oof, look at the walk. He's going up. High ground position. I'm not going to say the movie reference, but you know exactly where I'm going with that. I'm going to cut the limbs off. That's what Kuzo might be able to see from his teammate, as Misu is going to be in the intent of the Zai. But KFL are holding through on the Spiral. Now, for this final zone, this could be a knockoff situation where someone could take the high risk of just trying to look for the pulse sword, grapple strikes into the, the swipe. And if that happens on someone who's on a crawl up, that would be difficult. Now, QGG pop in here with a Phoenix Blast, Hep the Detach, Scattershot Focus Slide, and Advanced Group Heal. Kind of crazy how he's having that to be going through for 17S, but that's just because then the setup for QGG on the fan would be absolute deletion from that point on. And LXM, he's taking all the pressure, noticing that he's probably the only person left on for GG, but more importantly, the Lonely Temmie. This is going to be enough chances for other teams to kind of look for the lockdown. Now, the F-Wiz gets thrown out here from LXM. He backs away, trying to get that cooldown as often as possible, but BLZ from Hypercube working through into the Skylines. And look at the Jades listing and seeing here. Now, you can see the level 4 Juggernaut from BLZ. It's a high scaling Jade to be available for him, but also Kung Hai having martial art Octa / Blade and having Blistering Edge for the team. KFL having Windy Trinity, having explosive, not explosive, but Vajra's Grip on Windy in case he throws any Wild Haymaker Blues, but double the Benthic Descent for KFL before this Spearwell may or may not be popped, because YZG has been hiding this for the past couple of minutes.
We do have 3 compositions going through this last little bit of endgame, and YZG's doing a great job of stalling out this buff, having it go for as long as possible. They're going to pop the double ult right now onto LXM on the outside, and they're going to take it to the Tessa Viper team at the top ropes, and the Zyphon teams, QGG, showing up, shoving everyone off the top, crashing the party. What are you guys doing up here? Get down here, come fight us. QGG getting everyone off this high ground, and now bringing him the pain with the Takeda. He still has another one online right after this. Refresh coming from the Spirit Well, but KFL on the other side watching the action go down, waiting for their third-party opportunity. LXM's going to get picked off. One of the solos left in the lobby. On the bottom, though, they have to be careful. There's still a Poison Mushroom waiting there.
No, if BLZ gets these crossbow bolts, he's going to force down his opponent onto the ground. That's where the hell on earth is going to be surviving. That's lava right down there. If everyone is able to hit those shrooms as often as possible. This also forms out a pure usage of the Kurumi F to make sure that burn, or rather the poison tick damage, doesn't really do much into the seconds that it does tick, but it does dissolute over towards, or dissolves the usage of the Kurumi F. Now Kuzo goes down. QGG catching the Soul Bloom, catching as much gear as it comes out, and seeing how many team players are just going through up the top. Ares is Misu, YZG17S, KFL Windy, they are all at the high ground, and while Ryoman tries to reposition up there as a Matari, it will be that heal off for the last minute.
Yak is going to have to pop his ultimate soon, or he's going to fall. He's not going to be able to pop his ultimate. Unlucky by him, saving his ult for the Naraka 2, and now YZG, knowing that both teams are missing critical ults, going to take the action onto them with this Draco Storm. 57 seconds. They don't want to take this all into the last heal off. There's no need for that. They can come up here and contest. QGG holding up the banner. Wuchaport's going to be forced down on the low ground, though. Everyone's holding down on this clip side right now. BLZ and Hypercube don't want to come down, for the party, so the party's going to come out to them. KFL crashing into the party as well. Zone is closing in right now. BLZ's going to fall to the zone. CXZ trying his best to get these last hits off. Takedo's going to be invested. Hypercube Chili is going to fall. Ryoman is going to fall. YGG fighting these kills right now. Yak trying to get some last hits, but Misu is going to be able to clinch up this second place for Team Ares. YZG, though, will close it out, will take the third game down, making it look easy.
Taking all the pressure off their hand, playing Sand Siphon to its utmost, just utmost potency for this game into Morris Isle. They take this third round, they take the MVP, and they got, cool under pressure, this being their second day of playing and earning just, over the top amount of points coming out here. So for right now, seeing YZG, formerly known as CKLA, killing it out here, and especially taking into their day second of playing, meaning that the other teams having a good performance overall, but more importantly, just being able to surpass them into this end.
They've already played the first day. This is their second time. Some of these teams, it's their first time, and obviously they want to be getting as much done as possible so that the second day, it's not all that much pressure. But here we are going straight into the thick of it. SYN up against EWG. EWG showing very, very strong play so far today. Looks as though they are doing it pretty well so far in this fight. The Dragon Slayer coming through. Luo Ye did get taken down extremely low, low, but able to pick up that Soul Bloom off of his teammates, taking them down and recovering it very quickly and finishing them all off.
Yeah, Valda F1 now coming into play, closing out some of the spacing inside Yushan Ruins portal space, as Aries Missu unfortunately going to be held into that stone form with the pole sword, and it is just going to be Bauda cleaning up a fight and getting access to the Firefly cage to build into that Tian Heist V2, as now we're going to get to the Alliance going head-to-head against KFL. Yak goes for the overhaul, isn't going to be able to find it, gets clanked against it, and unfortunately Alliance's players just full swarm onto him and are able to come on through. As a little bit of a misposition comes out from KFL, they leave one of their players a little bit too open, and Alliance take full advantage.
Yeah, absolutely, and he'd already utilized that F. He had the F2, and you know, if you've used that sort of thing, you need to be very careful, because although it's not a combo breaker, it's still going to apply some utility for you. But hey, look at that, we have some golden fist blades already on the field, ready to go. YZG with this podium strategy, not looking for that early game fight necessarily. They would much rather be able to secure that golden legendary weapon for their Zai, as it is a huge buff for them, a huge win condition met already this early on into the game.
Yeah, that's going to be massive scaling for that Zai ultimate in the first realm of Yang. Major advantage for them as EWG's Lue comes in with that Takeda F1. Viper ultimate is going to come into play, so it is going to be Hypercube managing to buy themselves a little bit of spacing. However, the Tumult ultimate means that EWG do not give up any form of advantage, and this Takeda is still going to be able to continue utilizing these Fear and Shoves to really good advantage. Just splitting off Hypercube, making sure that that Viper gets forced away so that the rest of his two teammates, that Karumi and Temi, can finish off the fight without having to worry about the every shotgun in the back.
And unfortunately, this Tessa ultimate was too little too late, and Hypercube seemingly are going to fall to EWG. Bit split up there, it looked like as well. Luoye in that isolated fight against Chile for a moment, but unfortunately just didn't pay off, weren't able to capitalize on that, and they do go down. But another fight looks as though it's going to be taking place relatively close to where the one that we just saw was. GG flanking, looking for the sandwich third-party situation. KFL very willing to take this fight, it seems, but they're trying their very best to stay on the outside. They do not want to be the team that is stuck in the middle. You don't want to be in between two teams, as it will surely mean your demise. GG pushing KFL closer and closer to this ballista, and I believe that KFL are going to try and utilize this tower and perhaps the ballista itself to try and deter this aggression.
Yeah, but GG already managing to position themselves to blindside of ballista means that it's going to be a fight right on the base of the tower, and GG now looking to try and find this entrance. CJS still has this Zai F2. It is going to be the Matari ultimate coming on through. Karumi Armor Circle now invested F2 for CJS to try and find any form of isolation that he can, as it does look like he's going to put himself on top of that ballista tower, understanding that actually EWG have shown up for that potential third party, and GG want an insurance plan so that EWG do not have the confidence of collapsing onto them, and they find the connection onto that Takeda. Really good foresight coming in through from GG to put themselves into a better position, because now EWG have to back on off. It does, however, provide KFL the opportunity to back away, reset, and potentially come back on through if GG and EWG go head to head.
Absolutely, they might be able to dip away, maybe find an upgrade to their armor, or perhaps there is a rage charge station close by, as well as a few Fireflies. They might be heading over to them and seeing if they can come back with their ultimates refreshed. Oh my goodness, Luoye biting off more than he can chew and just getting absolutely burnt to a crisp. The ballista shot right to the dome, sending him down, and then that quick follow-up from the pistol from CJS to make sure that he does go down to that burn damage. Very nicely done by GG here. EWG scrambling now, going to try and see if they can recover, but it's not going to be easy. They're going to have to commit a lot of these resources. The Tumult ultimate has already been put down, and Cookie is on the run. LXM hot on his heels, trying to catch up to this Karumi. Cookie does have that alt armor circle, but it's definitely not going to be looking to use it, I believe, as they would much rather save it for potentially another fight, as they do have these rebirths. Oh, they went for it in the last second, but doesn't lose the actual activation, I believe.
Yeah, Matari F comes on for just to take the Kurumi down because they knew that another team was in the area. Speaking about another team in the area, that is a Moonbane coming on through. This is actually, I believe, GG's Moonbane, just to make sure that someone else can't try and collapse into this team because they're still in a recovery state after EWG, despite not finding a kill, were able to burn through a lot of the resources that GG had active, as well as the fact that they understood that that team that they were fighting prior to EWG would still have been in the area, as CJ, as with the Zai V2, is forced into fully investing, and Cookie now is actually going to fully invest likewise. He comes on through with that V2 and makes everybody back on off. CJS now with the fire tech will be able to put a little bit of pressure, but the Kurumi armor circle is going to be able to cleanse that one, and CJS just has to bide his time and wait, as with that Moonbane still in play, EWG utilized the opportunity and fully back on off.
They do indeed, but you know what else I see, Moxie? They are running, GG has run straight over to a Firefly on the other side, I believe. There are Fireflies very close by here. There's two in this immediate vicinity where GG currently are. May have been able to re-up those ultimates, but there are so many teams going through the rotations and turning up very close by, Alliance being one of them, who I'm sure would be very happy to try
YZG too.
for an assassination. Yeah, YZG. They're looking pretty stacked as well, those purple armors. Very scaled up already, exactly what you want. You know, this composition, the Zai Siphon composition, it has been called the budget comp, where you can get away with just a purple armor and some decent weaponry. But when you do get that scaled armor and you all three of you are scaled up, it becomes even harder to deal with, and that much stronger going into this mid game.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these compositions really relying on that scaling, the Takeda more than anyone else, because of that V3 scaling with all of the teams, not just the singular players. Like you said, Zai being seen as that budget composition because Zai is the only one, really, who needs that armor, needs that weapon upgrade, because hers is the thing that scales with both the V2 coming off of the weapon rarity when the ultimate is activated, as opposed to, as you can see from EWG, who, yes, have purple weapons on their Takeda, but are not yet even halfway to the golden rarity scaling of that Takeda V3. And the difference between a level 1 to a level 3 Takeda ultimate is felt by absolute miles, as we're going to be seeing Bowder going head-to-head against SYN. Bowder on this Valder and Tianhai, this is a composition that is designed for Realm of Yangs and endgame zones. Can SYN weather the storm that is going to be the circle ultimate of the Tianhai into the Valder spear to set up the regrab? The F1 from that Valder comes on through, making sure that you don't have to worry about the combo breaker, but Yiran gets stuck inside the Tumult. Wiz has to burn through the F1, puts himself onto the pillar, sets up the scale rush, but he's directly in the middle of the Tumult ultimate. The V2 comes on through for that health reset, and he can start to set up some of these grabs, as we can see that both Peak and you have also invested all of their ultimates. If Sin are going to be able to live the duration of this burst cycle, they should have the overall advantage in terms of sustain.
Yes, if they do make it out alive, if they survive for that much longer, they may be able to clutch this up, but we do see the grab come through for Loves, onto Loves, rather the slam into the follow-up by those Pulse Sword RMB slashes, and he does get eliminated. However, that being said, Sin does have that Kurumi circle, does have that potential Kurumi tether, and they could potentially look for this res. However, this Kurumi is not having a good time, trying desperately, dancing around, applying that tether, going up and down this pillar, might be able to find this resurrection, but I'm not sure if it's going to be worth it at the end of the day, as they might lose a little bit too much health, a little bit too much armor, and they won't be able to clutch it up in the end regardless. But they're certainly going to make the effort. Mind is up. Those purple fist plates, the Dragon Slayer coming through. Bowder's you getting extremely low, trying to stone form with this Pulse Sword, lives on just barely a frame of health, is still kicking, utilizing that combo breaker, flying away, but oh my goodness, it doesn't matter. Bowder has obliterated the rest of SYN in the backline and takes them down.
Yeah, that Valder F1 doing such a good job of just shutting down so much spacing so that you have absolutely no choice but to try and win up against both the halberd cross-strike coming on out from the RMB, as well as the RMBs from the pulse of spacing that the Valda is able to threaten. However, Bowder being a little bit aggressive and over-eager in terms of investing those ultimates did mean that the fight went on much closer than it has been when we've seen that composition play out in the past, as YZG comes on through now out of that ballistic control, looking to try and just drop down on some of these players towards the blind side. 17S with that legendary fan on the Syra, as Syra does make this composition a little bit more pricey because just like Zai, she needs the weapon rarity to be able to scale up that ultimate. However, we have to remember this is a team that invested on Salvation Podium early on, so the fact that they were able to go and win that that first realm of Yang means that they got another legendary weapon to be able to put onto that Syra, and 17S now can hold their own, absolutely melting EWG's XI with that legendary fan scaling.
Indeed, that is a rough experience, nowhere to go, open space, and he's just getting chased down, and he can't escape the fan. Fan is just, it can be really, really strong in that 1v1 situation. He's just not able to stand up to it. It is what it is. Straight 1v1, and he does go down, but we're going to have a straight 3v3, I believe, here between MVP and CYN. Kimoka in the sky, in that Hardy ultimate, looking to try and create some openings, potentially facilitate some more damage from her teammates. MVP does hold strong. Mocha has taken quite a bit of damage to that shield, has been pulled out of the ultimate, but going back up and putting down that cube. The turnaround parry, beautifully done, going up into the sky with the cube now breaking out of that Tumulk ultimate. The Tianhai ult is now online as well. CYNB grappling up the trees, trying to hold down one of these players, but this is a very difficult spot to catch people, isn't it, Moxie?
Yeah, and I mean, MVP has just fully disengaged, waiting that Tianhai ultimate out. B still holding onto that Valda V2 does mean that CYN aren't fully out of resources, but losing both the Hardy ultimate and the Tianhai ultimate is going to make it pretty hard for this team to be able to hold their own into this next fight. Ballista does come on through. CYN doing a very good job of understanding that the team that they were up against had held on to their ultimates, waiting for the Tianhai to be baited out and then resetting, so they're going to try and utilize this Ballista hold as a way of keeping that advantage over their opponents. It does risk, though, one of your players being out of that fight, as it is going to be the Valda ultimate now invested from B. Can we see the spears coming on through to set up some of these damage kills? Kimoka able to find another parry, however, she's not going to be able to take advantage of it. The Takeda Fury Shot's doing a very good job of peeling any of the follow-up, and unfortunately B does go down, even with the Valda V2 having been invested. One Soul Bloom picked up on the side of MVP, as we can see the Shaolin Jade coming on out from that fan, and Kimoka is just in full disengagement mode as she's lost both her Tianhai and her Valda. Purple armor on the Hardy, but unfortunately 45 seconds left. She's just got to try and find any straggler that she can to pick up a kill and get a Soul Bloom to continue.
Yeah, no, that is not a good spot to be in with that Yang depletion. It might be an inevitable demise at this point, but we shall have to wait and see. EWG looks as though they're in a bit of a difficult spot here, being chased down by GG. Luoye dipping into that storm, trying to find an avenue of escape. GG hot on their heels. They want to be able to pick up some of these kills as they recognize the weakness, that vulnerability in them here at the edge of the zone, being a man down already. Now we're taking a look at a replay from the realm of Yang. Ooh, very nice little jump in from Yi Xiao onto this Tumulk, onto Shi Yun with that wombo follow-up. Oh my goodness, MVP getting absolutely slammed by the Tianhai into the follow-up spear, into the regrab. LTZ nowhere to go, and now it's just a 3 versus 1 situation, an unwinnable spot for MVP's Hong. No ultimate, no nothing. He's gonna be trying his best, but that is gonna be all she wrote, and they do take that realm of Yang.
Yeah, that is the traditional line that we see coming through from this composition. That is why it is so absolutely terrifying inside the realm of Yang. One player gets grabbed up, and you know that the reverb grab is going to come on through if that Valda is able to cycle through the V2 correctly. Bowder going to be going for another realm of Yang. We did see them win that first one, however, they did space their ultimates, or rather, they did didn't space their ultimates out at all. So let's see whether or not they're going to be a little bit more staggered in terms of how they utilize them against KFL. Yuran with that legendary katana is going to be doing full-scale damage coming on through from these grab connections, goes up into the sky, doesn't want to go for that V2 just yet, or rather goes for it immediately. Okay, Peak not having that Valda V2 though is going to make this incredibly hard for them to be able to find any form of reverb grab, and as a result he's got to just go for that single grab, hold for the ranged weaponry to come on through, and then go for that slam once the damage is there. Now we're going to see the Valda ultimate coming on out, finds another one, the Hardy getting the triple charge onto them as they're held in the Monk's hands, and there's absolutely nothing that KFL can do. This isn't a Realm of Yang fight, Dunk. This is an absolute massacre.
Yeah, that was an execution, unfortunately for KFL. But here we are in the opposing Realm of Yang. Ares up against YZG and doing a very good job of pushing this tempo and taking full advantage of this Tianhai ultimate. Now coming out of it, Yi Xiao, along with the rest of Ares, just need to clean up this fight, clean up this this Realm of Yang, as it is literally just a 3 versus 1 slap fight.
Oh, no.
Come here, get back here.
We're not even watching it. They're just gonna kite out that fight for as long as possible so that they can have the buff for as long as possible. NY7 now coming on through the Viper V1, and immediately we can see that all of his team are getting ready to just fully jump onto MVP's LTZ. Now it's a numbers advantage fight, 2 versus 1. White Tiger's Paris is going to be able to pop. The uppercut connection comes on through, and they will be able to take down another player, as Alliance with the Viper test from Wuchang composition, definitely their strongest composition, as this is a team that loves to aggressively just fight, pick themselves up that 12th kill this game.
Indeed, 12 kills is a massive performance from Alliance in this game. You know, we're just getting to that second Realm of Yang point. That's the kind of scoreline you want, because as you get closer to that end game, your Wu Chen is progressively going to become less and less impactful, as you don't have all that many places to teleport to. You know, you can use the teleport aggressively, however, it's typically not the best option, as it is one of your only escapes, one of your only, you know, supporting utilities in that team composition. You do have a few other things, but you know, once you burn that full cooldown from the Viper and from the Tessa, you need something to escape with. So we'll have to see if they're able to make it to the end game, and potentially, obviously, they would certainly like to get their hands on that kill multiplier, get their hands on that first place, but it's not going to be easy, considering that we do still have these Tianhais in the lobby, this Tianhai Valda Hardy composition coming out from Ares. And you know, speaking of Ares, they are now on 6 eliminations, having gone into both of those Realms of Yang and done extremely well. Now picking up that Draco Storm alongside Bowder. We do have an engagement taking place here between YZG and GG. Because of this Yang depletion, they're certainly going to have to make something happen.
Yeah, both on Siphon, however, the mix-up being the support lineup, Karumi versus Syra. Karumi a much better defensive option, being able to cleanse that fire tick means that V2 from the Zai is not going to have any Manera as much as an impact. However, 17S with that Syra just needs one R&B stun into the LMB follow-up laser, and if they try and group up inside this Kurumi ultimate, they're just feeding themselves all of that damage, and we can see even though the recast has been burned, GG's health just continues to fall lower and lower and lower, as the amount of aggression and DPS that Syra provides is just able to absolutely blitz through the Kurumi's defensive options.
Speaking of blitzing through, 17S blitzing through that player just now with that fan, doing so much damage. It looks as though we have a fight here taking place just to the south of Plume Castle between KFL and Hypercube, 2 EU teams going head to head, and KFL certainly needs those soul blooms. They need to find that cleanse, otherwise they're going to be going down very soon, and I believe because they don't have all that much time, they are going to be looking to potentially buy one of their teammates back, allowing them to die to storm damage perhaps, or simply to the Yang depletion, and try and recover in that way. But we'll have to see if they can manage it, as Ares are waiting here. They've spotted out Chili, and this could be, I mean, they could let him go down, sacrificial lamb, but it's not ideal. It's not ideal at all.
Well, what's also not ideal is the fact that Forbidden Seal got invested, and that is going to be a signal flare, and you can already see on the minimap YZG moths to the flame have been drawn in by the prospect of that one going on down alongside Alliance. Every single team in this area who saw that dome being popped has showed up, understanding a fight's going on. Yijia with the Cloud Weaver trying to just pull these players towards him in the hopes of healing for his players. Alliance making it a little bit harder for them to hold their position though, and seeing that it's a Viper Tessa Wuchen team, Ares fully decide to back on off. Even if Forbidden Seal was in play, the Viper and the Tessa can just stand on the outskirts of the dome, still have the ultimate affecting those who are on the inside of it with all of that CC staggers, and they do not want any part of that potential CC coming on through. As KFL decides to take this fight, they have to. They've got 30 seconds left, and unfortunately for them, it goes directly into the Syra ultimate. Riemann is going to go down, even with all of that 1,800 shielding provided by that Syra V1. It is not enough. Alliance are able to melt through that overhealth, and now with 15 seconds left, I think KFL have just decided to full try and disengage.
Yeah, no, Yak is going to be just going down here. I think they just went for something because Windy did get caught out as they'd given him all of the money since he didn't have Yang depletion, as they've managed to cleanse that for him. So he did manage to disengage, did manage to make it out alive, and now with that money in the pocket may be able to find those rebirth charms. Yeah, we see him there crouching in that building, but will he be spotted out? I don't believe so. Bowder going to be going right past him, but Windy, he's going along with them. Be careful, buddy. Where are you going? Go the other way. That's a very stacked Bowder.
Yeah, you do not want to be anywhere near this team, especially since they currently have White Tiger's prowess as well as all of their ultimates. We can see that KFL's Windy might just run now into DRG. Have DRG spotted him, as Alliance are also on the outsides trying to see if there's a fight going on that they can potentially kickstart and third party into, getting to utilize NY7's Viper V1 just to come on through with some form of CC, and wanting to take advantage of teams not quite ready for the ultimates to come through and catch them in the bag when they're unawares. As until that starts to happen, Alliance might just decide to hold their cool and wait for one of these fights, though Ares, spotting out that this team is getting a little bit too close to comfort, gonna just be showcasing off that Cloud Weaver on the side of Yizhao before backing on off. A lot of these teams tracking on over to the weather effect, the sandstorm, because one of the things that weather effects mean on Holoroth is that all of the tropes that have already been opened get a refresh, which means so many of these resources going to be available for these players so that they can build all of the sources of Vitalia and shield potions before we head into those end games, and those resources become a lot scarcer to find.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You certainly want to be going into those end game situations with plenty of Vitalia healing berries and armor powders in your pocket, as you are going to be poked down considerably by all of these teams and their ranged Jades. But it looks as though, unfortunately, the kill feed, KFL Windy does go down to Kakashi, trying to recover his team, but simply not.
Unfortunate. Unfortunate as well is the Moonbane coming through, though Bardus Uran will be able to dodge out of that AoE before the damage can hit onto him, which is very good news because every single one of these teams is going to be waiting to jump on if any singular player is going to get hit by that AoE and start losing some of that armor, especially if it's the Tianhai. Have these teams identified? Well, they've definitely identified EWG's Cookie, and unfortunately he is going to go down. I believe EWG, yeah, that was his last player, so EWG very much unfortunately just having to go for the hope and hide and seek aspect of that game, with only one of their teammates just trying to play for that survival game, but it's not to be. He is going to go down, and now we get to see whether or not some of these teams are going to be able to identify the compositions that are still in place. We still have two Valda Tianhai compositions currently in this lobby, which means when Spirit World Contest comes through, you know they're going to be in position. In fact, there it is, Bauda setting up shop. Is anyone going to contest this? As we've seen in the past, a lot of these teams more than content to just bend the knee, play for mitigating the consequences, and hoping that they can kite away before Bauda can just jump on them and kill them.
Yeah, no, this is a very scary Bowder as well. You know, you recognize that they're on this composition, they're fully scaled to the maximum. Contesting this is going to be dangerous, and you know, perhaps it's simply the better choice to just try and weather the storm, as you said, you know.
Yeah, weather the Draco storm.
Yeah, weather the Draco storm, exactly, Moxie. But now that they have unlocked this buff for themselves, Bowder are going straight in. The cannon fire coming through. Kakaishi kiting into the building along with the rest of his teammates. DRG, they are fully blue armor. This is definitely, it's painted a target on their back. Now they are surrounded on all sides. Every team is looking in their direction. YZG, though, on the top of this building is getting knocked off. They are losing quite a lot of their health. QGG taken down extremely low, kiting around underneath the building, and there he is. He does go down, walking into WX98, who now coming out of that ultimate is to be able to pick up that Soblu, but immediately getting engaged upon by NY7 and forced to try and disengage and get out of the window.
Yeah, I mean, that building still very much not safe because of the cannon fire coming through with the Rupture Gale and Flame Weapon. You can see Powder's Peak just taking a little bit of time to repair that cannon. Yuran also peppering in the damage, as well as you. In fact, all three players of Bowder have cannons equipped and are just absolutely melting any of these players who wanted to try and hide out inside that building, so that if the Tian Hai or Valda did go for their ultimate, they had the line of sight protection to come on through. But that just means that Bowder is getting all of the one-way damage coming on out. Ares trying to take cover behind the hyper armor provided by both the Merciless Havoc and the Cloud Weaver coming on through, but they're still going lower and lower and lower. As you can see, all of these resources that Bowder are able to absolutely burn out. All of the armor powders, all of the Vitalias going just fully in to just trying to live out all of the pressure before Bowder even have to utilize any form of ultimate.
Yeah, this is rather unfortunate, as Bowder is just fully set up. They have met all of those win conditions. I'm going to be spamming this word because it's what you need to be focusing on. You know, nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. If you manage to get your hands on the things that are going to make these situations much easier for you to be successful in. Yuma, a little dangerous. Alliance does fade back. They aren't in immediate danger just yet. Ares are still on the bottom there. They do have that same composition as Bowder. This could go either way at the moment. Ares are trying to bide their time. Kuzo utilizing that Merciless Havoc, keeping him and his teammates somewhat safe, somewhat out of the line of fire with that massive hitbox, sending it into the zone, sending it behind them, making it unparryable. Yeran are now being forced into that ult situation as he was taking quite a bit of damage. But will we see the response from the other Tianhai? We do. Yi Xiao ulting on the other side of this little tent, make sure that he doesn't get grabbed during that ult activation. Yeran on the down, on the low ground. Yi Xiao finding that grab, sending him into the zone, not going to be able to get that re-grab. However, Misyu does get picked up by Yeran. Yi Xiao jumping in, giving him a punch. They're like, get off my teammate, get out of here. Yi Xiao hopping around. He's going to look for one more grab, but not going to be able to find it. Not much time left now, Moxie. This could go either way.
Yeah, Yi Xiao now going to be out of the ultimate, so too is Yuran on the side of Bowder. However, both of the Vald are still holding onto that V2 to try and have the advantage over the heal-off situation, while the ultimate comes into the field, trying to push some of these players who are a little bit too close to the edges of that zone into the corruption tick damage, as Ares Misyu takes to the sky. Looks like one Valder ultimate was actually forced. Ares Kuzo got targeted down by all of the players in this lobby, so that is one Valder V2 that's still going to be in the refresh situation. I believe Bowder still have access to their own, however, yeah, there it is. Peak can confirm with the fist blades, just going to be going for that continuous air sky grapple to keep himself off of the low ground, because even though Bowder were in control of the situation a couple of minutes ago, the situation has since slipped out of that control. Alliance able to come on through with the uppercut into R&B from the legendary Hongsword, will be able to take down Kuzo. Viper V1 now comes on through, the terrain making it absolutely perfect. So little LOS protection coming on through that the Viper 5-second stun is going to be able to connect, but Bowder's Peak with the Valder V2 finds the double spit connection, has burned through the ultimate, trying to win that heal-off situation, but NY7 able to come on through with so many of the last hits on that Hongsword, and Alliance holding that cool, able to actually, I believe, come out on top, as there it is, confirmation. Alliance, despite Bowder being in the driver's seat for so much of that lobby, walk away with the MVP. And honestly, a huge part of it was the fact that they still have that Wu Chen all the way through. Because as we talked about, normally the Wu Chen teleport becomes much less powerful when we go into those endgame zones because there's so little space, and when you teleport, you tend to be teleporting directly on another team. However, with the Wu Chen Wind Tools being able to block projectiles, Alliance were actually spared a major chunk of damage coming on through from Bowder's 3 cannon shots coming out from all of those buildings, missing a Trove and getting Fireflies at the same time. As immediately off of the rip, we're going to be getting to see Bowder, who do have a weapon on that side, picks up Grey Nunchucks coming on through from you. The F2 comes on out, applying that fire tick damage. Zip with that sustain as well. The Volda does come on through with the F2 combo break, but it's not going to be in time to save QGG. And now the numbers advantage, Bowder just have to clean up. One goes for the slap so that they get staggered. And in fact, it's not just a stagger, it is a kill. CXC goes down to the fist coming through from Peak.
Indeed, and heading on over to that eastern coast that I was referring to, GG up against Ares. And Kuzo just getting absolutely shredded by this Zai ultimate. They managed to get their hands on those Fireflies off the rip and immediately take full advantage of said ultimate. Zai ultimate, just in general, is extremely difficult to deal with, but at this point in the game, very, very early on, where you don't have all that much effective health, it becomes even more devastating. As we can see here, GG able to pick up 3 quick eliminations off the bat.
Yeah, now we're going to be getting to see over towards Celestial Way. It is going to be DRG potentially going head-to-head against KFL, and there is going to be now Kakaishi, 82% to that first Viper V1. It can be a little bit harder to utilize the Viper over towards Celestial with so many of those buildings giving you that terrain to be able to block out the V1. However, one of these loot pathings that is sought after is this Temple Way, as you can see up on that coffin. Legendary Trove is always going to be guaranteed, but it's not going to be loot that KFL are looking for. It's going to be an engagement up against DRG. Wu Chen Windwalls comes in. Raymond eating a lot of damage from that fan RMB coming on through. Has to go for that Viper V1 to get the damage reduction to tank that full benefit, but the poison splash off of the body into the horizontal swing of that pole sword is going to just absolutely melt his health bar. Tester Ultimate does come out, catching onto Kakaishi, setting up the focus hits from those dual blades, as Kakaishi has to burn all of his stamina with that V1. The snap comes on through, but the Syra RMB into LMB is going to absolutely laser down all of that health, and DRG get third-partied by SYN.
Oh my goodness, this was looking very good for KFL initially. Although they did lose a member, they did take down the priority target, that Wu Chen, making it so that they couldn't teleport away. But heading on over to this fight between GG and, I believe, Hypercube, BLZ has already been taken down. Kanghai in that Tianhai ultimate, looking for those grabs at the edge of this building, does manage to find one onto 330, looking for that slam, going to be sending him over the bridge. But I believe that Kanghai might be a very sad monk, as not much is going to come off this ultimate. Oh, and on top of that, he had the purple armor. That is so sad to see for Hypercube. They were looking, that's some pretty decent loot to start off with this composition, but having it immediately taken away from them by the hands of GG. That is certainly rough, but very good for GG, as they now have that purple armor. They've gotten up to 6 eliminations this early on in the game. They're going to be able to get that snowball rolling down the hill very, very quickly.
Yeah, purple armor now going to be available for that. Zai's MVP's Hong with the purple fist blade comes on through for that F2. Manages to bait out the Viper V1 early before dropping behind that building to come on through with that Moonbane. Tester Ultimate has come in play. The Wu Chen teleport, though, it is good. They're going to be able to disengage away from that fight, and MVP waste a Moonbane, which is really problematic for them because this actually shows that there is a fight going through, and Hong having invested that Zai V2 means that MVP are out of their burst cycle window, so they've got to just try and run as far away from this placement as possible before another team shows up expecting to come on through for a third-party situation. Aries, with that Wuchen teleport, have not had the downtime to be able to go for a full reset. They're just having to full kite disengage, not wanting to stick around too long, as they don't even activate the Forbidden Steel, because remember, both of those teams not wanting to give away the fact that they're down those resources, not wanting to give away the fact that there's potentially a fight coming on through, do not want to pop that dome, because every single team in the area will be drawn in if they do.
Absolutely, it is effectively a dinner bell to everybody, because you know, if you've ever like grappled to the top of a tree perhaps or something, you can see these domes in the distance from very, very far, and it will just simply tell everybody who can see it that, you know, a fight is being taken place, you know, or someone doesn't have their ultimate available, etc., etc. And it is an excellent, you know, rotation. They can immediately head on over there and look to see if they can pick up some scraps, or just find a full-on 3v3 against a team who doesn't have those resources available. But heading on over to CYN, they have a bounty on what seems to be YZG, or perhaps SYN, CBB. They're trying to fully disengage, not interested in taking this 3v3 just yet, especially considering that they are they're pretty stacked, you know, not necessarily in terms of armors, but purple weaponry, and then 8 eliminations on mines. That is crazy to have this many kills early on. I thought 6 was pretty solid, but 8 is... you know, a little bit better than 8. But damn, that is pretty massive for them. But I'm sure they're going to be wanting to go and spend their Darktide coins to see if they can actually get more value out of these kills that they've had. Bowders Yu unfortunately does get parried on this Cavalry Bloom, trying to find a terrain situation where he's able to release this one with less risk, but not able to. Does get parried. Yu now, that ultimate from the Matari from his teammate is going to come out, and Yu just all getting parried yet again. Both of these players are invisible, though it doesn't track, not able to get the follow-up. Yu coming out of stealth, going to be utilizing that ultimate, going to the sky. The mushroom is popped. It could be a very dangerous spot to be in. Yu, he's juggling him down from the sky onto the floor. Hong goes down. Shi Yun is going to follow suit, and Bowder are going to be cleaning up this fight.
Yeah, Bowder just managing to pick up that last elimination to be able to clean everything up. Like you said, it could have been potentially risky, especially with that Toxic Shroom melting the health bars directly. But something that is going to be risky is this Moonbin fight coming on out from SYN. They were trying to lock down some of these teams around them. Does look as well like they were prioritizing control of that Rift Dealers, not wanting CYN to be able to get their hands on it before the Realm of Yang spawns on up, as having a good Soul Jade can be the difference between losing and being stuck with Yang depletion and coming out on top, especially if you're able to get your hands on something super impactful like Focus Slide or any of those Soul Jades of Destiny to change those weapon effects. Something like jabbing would be absolutely huge, as we can have a look and see where those Realm of Yangs are going to spawn on through. A lot of them going to be seeing a lot of fights, especially since the Moonbane was dropped on the shop as opposed to the portal entrance, which means that every single one of these teams is free to be able to contest all of those openings. EWG with the cannons just trying to keep Hypercube at an arm's length. Bowder also showing up to the mix. Hypercube caught between two of these teams. As Dunk pointed out earlier, you do not want to be the team in the middle. However, this is one of those opportunities where it is going to be a little bit easier to survive that sandwich, given the fact that none of these teams really want to overinvest those ultimates, as they would be down them before they can go into Realm of Yang.
Yeah, you don't want that to happen, but we're going to be going into said Realm of Yang. GG up against YZG. Now, GG at a bit of an advantage in terms of loot, might be able to put that advantage to good use, but we'll have to wait and see. 17S grappling up the wall, trying to grapple these players out of the sky, potentially catch one of them with some aerial light attacks, but the F coming through from the Zai, getting that stagger, forcing the combo breaker from CXZ, now trying to kite away, having taken a decent amount of damage. Not all that much just yet, not in the danger zone just yet. 17S looking for that peel, the ultimate's going to be coming through from that Zai. No Monk ultimate just yet, going to be trying to save it for as long as possible, utilizing this Hardy ultimate instead, getting that peel, getting it to come on through, and they have the cube to work with as well. Now 17S dropping down, having used that cube, going to be activating that Vajra state, looking for these grabs on top of the pillar, finds one, looking for another one. Is he going to be able to get it? No, sir. He's going to be dropping him down. Going to be getting that follow-up with with the Valda Spear, taking him down. Oh my goodness. However, QGG has gone down. You know, it cost them. It has not been for free. One of them is down for the count. They're bound to be trying to get this player down as quickly as possible. Getting the double grab as well. But look at that healing, Moxie. They're not getting chunked down at all.
The Zip F comes on through, and that sustain means that GG will be able to keep themselves alive. Now, out of the burst duration, it goes back into the neutral. 17S with the halbert's not going to be able to find the setup as he gets interrupted by the Scourge coming on through from that pulse. Valda F2 does set up for the parry to come on through. 17S incredibly low, goes for the chase down with the pulse sword and eats a RMB charge from the fan to the back. Goes down off of the back of that one, and GG, we said that the Zip would be problematic for the Tianhai teams to deal with, and that's exactly why Zip has started replacing Kurumi yet again in these compositions.
You may have been right, Moxie. That was quite a lot of healing. You know, it's... Unless you're able to immediately burst someone down, that constant healing from anywhere, you know, you don't have to be within that circle.
Yeah.
It's looking pretty top tier, but we'll have to wait and see as the as J Cup progresses whether or not these teams are going to look to continue taking that zipping pickup. But here we are with Bowder and SYN out in the northwest of the map. Bowder, you pulling the trigger on that Zai ultimate, getting that juggle onto CBB. Unfortunately, not able to stand tall and stay alive, but they do have that Vermilion Burst Might, so they're not going to be getting fully knocked out just yet, but they're going to be putting up a fight regardless. Mines trying his best to find something, but not able to, just getting chased down by Baldazu and his teammate, and there it is, Bowder picking up yet another 3 eliminations, going all the way up to 12.
EWG now going head-to-head against Hypercube. Hypercube with that Yang depletion. Kanghai holds on to that V2. Biz as well holding with the Boulder ultimate. The Tianhai does get interrupted by that Zai F2. Has to go for the health reset. Now tries to come on through with these grabs. However, the rest of their opponents doing a very good job of just full disengaging before any of these grabs can come on through. We can see Ares just waiting in the wings, looking for that third party situation, wanting to wait out all of the ultimate fluctuations before they come on through. One grab into Slam comes now from Kanghai to get a little bit of healing. We'll be able to find one other grab onto EWG's Lulei. Biz coming on through with that Valda Spear, setting up the reverb grab. Now Tianhai out of the ultimate has to come on through with the F1 and goes down because here comes the third party situation. Ares dropping on in with the Viper V1, and all of these players who are currently fighting forced to scatter away as Ares able to come through with 1 kill. Hypercube having to just full run for the hills as Chili is being hunted down both by Kuzo and that Viper's looking over towards Artisan's Grove. We've got Alliance going head-to-head with YZG. YZG who just respawned off of that Soul Altar, trying to come on through. 17S holds on to the Tianhai ultimate, has that purple pole sword, wants to try and heal back some of the shielding before he commits into that fight. Tumultuous ultimate now invested on the sort of Alliance is going to make it much easier for 17S if he does opt in for this Tianhai V2 to find the grabs, especially since he's utilized the Hardy Cube to be able to position himself directly behind Alliance and potentially look for a surprise flank.
Perhaps. We got the ultimate coming online right now. 17S going to be monkeying up, going for that jump in, not getting the slam, unfortunately. Just barely missing the slam there, but the double spear coming through. Alliance, boom! The damage coming in. Revenge does go down. The re-spear from the Valda, and there we have that third party from DRG coming in. He's got 2 people in his hand. Can he get the grab? No. The Tessa to peel, but it doesn't matter. NY7 still going down. 17S picking up another kill for YZG. Now the Viper ultimate coming on through. He does get stunned up. WX98 is the only one going to be in the vicinity to be able to follow this up. Will he be able to survive that 1v1 situation considering the disadvantage? The focus attack comes through, the bell coming out, keeping him alive, but it's only for a moment. He's not able to get away. That's a big surge right there.
That's so unfortunate because it was a perfect Tianhai ultimate.
It was huge. It was really good for them.
Perfect Tianhai ultimate.
And,
everything from the flank set up by the Hardy ultimate and then the double grab, but then he's griefed by the Tessa ultimate, griefed by the Viper ultimate. this is where we can see Alliance going head-to-head against Bauda, NY7 on the Cicada, 3 fear and shoves to his name, playing inside that Kurumi on the circle. Tumultuous trying to set up for the extension, but NY7 having to burn through a lot of those Cicada shoves just to keep his players safe from that Zai cone tick coming on through both the Kurumi and the Cicada, trying to put the pressure onto the Zipping and take Bauda's peak down, but he's doing a very good job of utilizing the wave roll glyph to just escape absolutely unscathed, and you setting up into that position with the Zai ultimate, taking advantage of the fact that the Furin shoves are just no longer available to try and just keep this Cicada occupied, as now we're going to be seeing the Clanks coming on out, longsword into fan neutral, NY7 almost getting caught up into that toothpick, has to burn all of his stamina and does go down as Bauda's what a connection from the Zai F2 in mid-air. Now coming on through with his own F2 to put himself up into the sky. Lovely utilization of Peak's F1 to catch onto that Zai, to track his location down. The Meteor ultimate into jump LMB with the pole sword as Bauda trying to position 2 versus 1 against GG's LXM. Now comes on through with that Zai ultimate, using the F2 reset to keep up the pressure and force that Zipping ultimate to come on out early.
This is looking pretty back and forth. No significant advantage just yet. They've both lost effective health, and they've all kind of used their cooldowns at this point. Valdas does take a bit of, quite a big chunk of damage there, responding in kind, but it might be looking very GG favored now. All of Bauda just on their health, but immediately turning it around. Valdas gets a big chunk of damage onto 2 players. However, the healing's coming through. The F2 into the RMB follow-up from that pulse sword. Trying to make something happen, trying to get those tech chases, goes for the parry just out of range. LXM in the back, but it looks as though Bauda's use more. He's more interested in taking down this support. 3-3-0. If he gets that Zipping ultimate back up and running, it could be extremely bad. Taking down that priority target, but sacrificing his own support in the meantime. Yeran and Yu now have their work cut out for them, trying to make something happen. The scale rush comes through, the uppercut, but it immediately gets disrupted by their teammate. The Matari ultimate coming back online now. Yeran does go down, unfortunately, having not had enough time to get that rage. Bauda's turning it around with these fist blades. The RMB coming in. The empowered Matari dash tries to make something happen, but oh my goodness, that is sad to see. It was looking pretty even for a while there, but GG just able to stay topped up. Perhaps, perhaps they may have had advanced group here.
It definitely feels like they had advanced,
because that's usually the separating factor in a lot of these situations. Unless there's a big loot discrepancy, that we can see in terms of armor or weapons, is usually something along those lines.
Yeah, and it was a full mirror as well, so it feels like GG definitely have advanced heal, group heal, and I believe that is advanced heal. That is going to be on the side of 3-3-0. As it is going to be them just taking a little bit of a pit stop over towards one of those.
That's a Mortal Defiance as well.
That is a Mortal Defiance on the side of GG too. And that's something that we're starting to see a lot of these teams really prioritizing, having that soldier. As we'll speak about that in a moment. We have to watch EWG and SYN now going head-to-head. Cookie with the F2 into Cavalry Bloom follow through off of the stagger set up by that Zai utility. Even if you know it's coming on through, you're not going to be able to parry it. As now we're going to get to see the Syra come on out with that V1. However, Cookie with that Matari ultimate into the Zai ultimate activation will be able to get a second refresh onto the F2. The RMB sets up the fist blades from the connection of the RMB, but Loves is going to go down. Cookie now without that armor sets himself up for the golden fire tick damage coming on through. The zip sustain as well, aiding EWG's position so they can continue this aggression. CBB going incredibly low, caught with absolutely no place to go. If he runs to the right, he goes into the fire cone tick from the Zai. If he runs to the left, he goes into the whole horizontal pole sword swing. UWG doing a very good time of just full option select, denying every single thing that SYN could have done to be able to avoid that one.
And speaking of SYN, here they are. It do have that one purple armor, but having taken a look at the loot of the other teams, might not be enough. They're gonna certainly have to try, though, as this Yang depletion is ticking down. But speaking of Yang depletion, Bauda also have this Yang depletion that they are afflicted by, and they're gonna have to find some Soul Blooms pretty soon. I'm not sure if they managed to spot out SYN that were kind of close by, or if they just happen to choose this Rebirth altar, you know, just because it was more of a safe choice at the edge of the zone. They're not going to have anyone to their back, and they can simply look forwards. But here they are, SYN very close by. Both of these teams need the fight to happen sooner rather than later.
Oh, Fire Cage is gonna get activated. Not close enough to bad as you for the stun to come on through, but SYN definitely thinking about trying to take this engagement. Slusher is a really good space to fight, especially since there were so many buildings wanting to cover your back in case of that third-party opportunity. As you dodges the F2 from that Zai Zip utility, from the F1 Console Knight, as well as the Matari ultimate about to decide to open up with. They're still holding on to this V2. SYN have invested theirs. However, the Syra just not providing that same level of sustain that's available to the Zipping means that SYN have already lost one of their players. Yuna coming over with a late V2, having all of the options of being able to try and take some of these players down, but he has absolutely no damage reduction in that Zai ultimate, and SYN actually still going to be able to come on through, taking it to a 2 versus 1 cleanup.
Ooh.
And about as Yuran is going to go down. They did trade, however. One of their players, Loves, was taken out of the mix before SYN were going to be able to find that full team kill against Spider, and because this team had Yang depletion, there is no availability to stick the revive on that body. They have to try and find a Rebirth Charm that is going to be available in the open map, as GG potentially going head-to-head against some of these other teams in this lobby. However, with that Siphon composition, you do not want to put yourself into the opportunity of getting third-partied, so it looks instead like the call has come on out to back on off and full disengage.
And perhaps head over to that Spirit Well that has spawned up over here at the edge of the zone. And GG, you know, they do enjoy their Spirit Wells. They're certainly going to be looking to try and get their hands on this one, even though it is only Mystic Might. You know, it's no Draco Storm. It's still a very solid buff to get on your team, as you're going to be able to spot out all of the players in the vicinity. You're going to be able to stay very aware of what's around you. You know, it's very important to do so. As we've talked about a few times today, you don't want to be stuck in the middle of two different teams. You know, if one team is lurking in the bushes or in the trees behind you, you want to know that before you take a fight with a team that's directly in front of you.
Well, there's going to be a lot of potential third parties and teams in front of Ares currently. Tesla Ultimate comes on out from Kuzo, trying to lock down some of these players from SYN. Missing out with that Viper V1, going for the full tap dodges, just trying to find anyone, but unfortunately he does fall down, and as a result will not be able to have any tether connections. It does seem like GG are coming in for that third party opportunity as well. CJS with that Zai holds on to the V2, just putting full pressure onto everybody. Now coming on out, trying to just keep some of these teams held into that zone. Remember, GG have Mystic Might, so they have full information, despite Slusher being an absolute labyrinth of buildings where all of these players are, so they're going to know exactly which teams are currently taking all of the storm damage, and Merciless Havoc is going to make sure that they stay in that zone even longer.
Oh my goodness, that parry was very nice indeed, but immediately mitigated by the F2 of that Zai. Sin now being put under a considerable amount of pressure. CBB forced to use that ultimate to try and stay alive himself and potentially save his teammate, but unfortunately not able to do so, as one of them does go down. GG lurking, trying to find an avenue of entry, an avenue of aggression. So there are so many players, so many teams lurking on this side of the storm. As you can see, if you look at the map, there's so many people everywhere. It's just insane. Although they do have the Mystic Might, can they really differentiate between who's a solo player and who's fully stacked up with a team? Because there are just simply so many people around. But it looks as though they've managed to spot out this player and take him down. Sin, CBB unfortunately not able to stay out of their radar, stay out of danger, and does get eliminated. However, thankfully, one of their teammates is still alive.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think GG really care if they're going up against a full team.
No, I mean, that's true. Look at how stacked they are. They don't really care.
They're seeing these players a little bit too close to that storm damage, and they're like, okay, you're gonna have to either hold your ground and fight us, or you're gonna have to run into zone, and then we can just hold you to zone.
Yeah, but thankfully Sin has two of their players now still up and running, and considering the number of kills they have, that is exactly what they want. They want to be able to potentially get their hands on that kill multiplier and skyrocket up the standings and secure their potentially secure their spot in the grand finals. But it looks as though, oh my goodness, I thought Mines was about to eat the dust, eat the pavement on that Moonbane hit, but fortunately not. He does stay alive. MVP is still chasing him down, though. The ultimate is going to be expiring relatively soon. F2 goes out, taking him across the way and forcing these players to run by everyone else and potentially, deter it, but it doesn't look as though they're going to be too deterred, as GG's more focused on the Spirit Well, but oh my goodness, the double merciless. How do you get into the Spirit Well here, I don't know.
You don't. You don't. That's the answer to that question. You don't.
I could just imagine one of them looking over the hill, seeing the double merciless. Aight, buddy, you're good. You have that one.
No, it's the exact same thing as when it's the Tianhai is set up. Yeah, unfortunately, Kakaichi does indeed misclick the Viper V1. Rather unfortunate. However, all of these teams are very much just going to be playing towards the outer edges, away from the Spirit Well, away from GG as much as they possibly can be. The problem becomes, though, when Merciless Havoc is in play, the closer you play to that storm damage, yes, you're playing further away from the Spirit Well, but you're close to that storm, and Merciless Havoc is just going to push you even closer into it. So a lot of these teams are going to have to be very smart about how they reposition, because you can already see that GG, they don't care about whether or not you're going to fight them. They are literally just coming on through with that Flamer and Merciless to act as a deterrent, so they can close up that distance with one of their players looking for that legendary fistblade connection off of how fast the R&B comes on through.
Yeah, they just want to try and fully obliterate at least one person and then weaken the entire rest of the lobby with that, oh my goodness, that shockwave, the Merciless keeping him in place, CJS just following up with the fistblades into the ultimate, pulling that trigger. We are going to be seeing the shredder coming out now. CJS finds himself a zipping on the side of EWG, trying to kite away, utilizing that ultimate, utilizing that F to try and stay mobile, but now EWG responding with their own Zai ultimate. Cookie does deal a little bit of damage. Oh my goodness, grouping all up together, the follow-up from the halberds. CJS getting to just absolutely blend through their health bars. The Matari is going to be forced to use that ultimate now, using that empowered F2 to try and dash around, potentially heal up a little bit and stay out of danger, but this is going to be tough. And is that a Mortal Defiance I see on the floor? It is indeed.
Just, a Mortal Defiance.
Just in case
just a backup as GG. I mean, it's over.
It's looking
we know GG are most likely going to be MVPing this round. They're 80% to the next IV2. They've still got Merciless Havoc. They've got a Flamer. Even though we do have one Viper team in the form of DRG, Matari ultimate means that you can ignore it entirely. Kakaishi, absolutely a sliver of health, having to just pull the cord of the emergency Viper V1. Unfortunately, WX98 had to burn through the Wooch and teleport at the same time, so that stun is not going to find anybody, and Kakaishi is going to go down. GG finally able to claim one of these kills. The Flamer coming on through, absolutely barbecuing all of the players in that low ground as LXM with those halberds just swaps over towards that Flamer, continues applying this fire tick to start melting through all of the resources, as well as punishing the fact that the zipping as opposed to the Kurumi does not get that frequent cleanse. Coming on out as there are 10 players left in this lobby, LXM with that Matari F, not finding the connection that they're looking for, but EWG still backed up into a corner entirely before GG make that move with the Merciless Havoc, and there it is, CJS closing up the distance with the Fistblade R&B into the Zai V2. trying to scoop up as many of these players as possible, holding them in position for his plays to come on out with all of the follow-through damage. Every single player left in this lobby is just having to play full reactionary to GG's every single move, and they're the only ones that are in control of this match.
Yeah, they certainly are. They are certainly the server admins at the moment. But is that an Aurora Burst I see on LTZ? Tries to look for the drop down, not able to find the confirmation. But we have a lot of confirmation from this Merciless Havoc. CJS now going in with that scale rush, finishing off at WX98, pushing him into that storm and eliminating him for the moment, grappling up to the sky to try and hold on to EWG's Cookie. The other Zai in the lobby, unfortunately, he's not able to make it back into the zone and stay healthy and stay alive in the face of the GG. They are simply unkillable, undeniably. Oh my goodness, they are in charge. They are in the driver's seat. DRG, MVP, two members of these different teams are going to try and do something, but I'm not sure if they're going to get all that much. I believe they do find one elimination technically, but other than that, it's looking up for GG. They came to play today. They are gaming. And I want to see how many kills that was, because I didn't catch it. I was too focused on this. Oh my goodness.
I think it was 20. The last time I checked, they had 17, and that was before we saw them get those last 2 kills. One of which onto MVP. Something that we should note, however, is that even though they were the ones in control of that lobby, they were the ones with the Flamer, the double Merciless Havoc, as well as all of the double Ultimate Cycles coming through because they picked up the buff, potentially going up against the Tian High.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, going just anything, having that in the back pocket, that safety net is always going to be a very nice... like, oh, we could fall back on this. It's okay. I could go in, get Turbo Oogly, and we are all good. We're not going to go down just yet. And it's really good as a bait as well. You can bait people into trying to full commit and put themselves in a bad spot. But here we are. Speaking of a bad spot, we did just have a player have to kite away, getting taken down to extremely low HP. Oh my goodness, Loves is getting absolutely obliterated off the back of this parry, followed up upon by a different team. Ares jumping into the mix, the third party. The Tessa ultimate is going to come through, though, to prevent their immediate aggression, but it's not going to mean that Cookie is going to stay alive. However, are they going to be able to stay alive themselves? Kuzo jumping in and tries to find that peel with that lunge on the spear. Goes for the parry, the jump parry, but the turnaround F from that Viper is going to shut him down immediately. Miss you. Now kiting it away, trying to find that focus, trying to peel himself. It looks as though EWG, instead of chasing him down, would rather look to engage upon a wounded SYN.
Yeah, Liu comes on through with the second cast of that Tesla ultimate, doesn't find the RMB with that hang, so that gets clanked up against one of the players from SYN. Liu now was able to commit again, but he throws it a second time and gets parried on the second frame of focus. SYN's minds now with this Matari ultimate comes on through to refresh the F2. Zai V2 comes into play. He does get connected onto by CYN's own Zai F2, utilizing his ability now to put himself onto the rooftop and potentially look for a surprise drop down with that golden frame focus on this ult. Minds looking for that opportunity of opening SYN, having to have both of their 2 other players back on off and go for a little bit of a reset, both from Loves and CBB. Smiles gets aggressive, comes on through with that fire cone tick, managing to stagger out Ares' Miss You, and he is going to go down off of the chase down coming on through from that Matari F2. Now CYN's Kamoko, though, finding a huge parry. The terrain grieves the follow through, but she's still able to connect that Kurumi Tether, snaps it early for the 70% damage reduction coming on out before turning on through into the melee with the fan RMB, manages to dodge out of the follow-up from those dual blades. Matari ultimate sets up the Tether to come on through a second time if she wants to use it to reposition, as we can see that Ares' Miss You is about to be brought back up. In fact, there he goes. Ares able to get the other player online, and CYN not in a position of being able to shut it down, especially because Matari utilized that F2 to blink into the Kurumi armor circle AoE, and Miss You has been able to fully recover.
Oh my goodness, it's going back and forth though. This Kurumi circles, they got a little bit too aggressive aggressive. They didn't stay within their healing circle, and now CYN have been able to fully negate all of this pressure coming in from Ares. They did secure this resurrection, but unfortunately it has not fully paid off for them, and they do get eliminated. CYN and SYN still in the vicinity. Miss You is still clutching to life for the moment. However, a lonely Matari is going to be a tough situation to be in. A tall order indeed. He's going to try and make his way around, see if he can find a tap one of his teammates, catching at that horizontal into the uppercut. Miss You looking to try and focus down Kimoka, or at least deter the onslaught. And looks as though CYN, the rest of the teammates, are being focused down by SYN jumping in, but now turning their attention over to Miss You, who is dashing away, trying to stay alive.
Yeah, Mines was actually brought back with the Kurumi Teva from CVV, who was giving the information that the fight was still ongoing and that Ares had burned through all of their ultimates in that state of recovery. And now SYN make the comeback, managing to come back on through, having reset, now taking the fight once again against CYN. Kurumi Teva on towards those players to make sure that they have the damage reduction to try and survive the numbers fight turning up against them, but B goes down regardless, and Mines with the IV2 just about to burn out, goes for a little bit of an information gathering spot, going for that rush up onto the rooftop, managing to find another fire tick application onto Kimoka, who tried to live the duration of it with that Kurumi ultimate, but it is not to be. B trying to buy themselves a little bit of extra life with the knockback activation of that side V2, but this is just delaying the inevitable. Big is about to go down, and SYN with a lovely comeback into that fight.
Absolutely, going up to 5 eliminations, Sin of 4, but oh my goodness, what is taking place over here? Moxie, Alliance, EWG all scrapping it out within this Moonbane, I believe is on the side of Alliance. Yeah. They're picking up all of this loot while they still can. Bowder was also in the mix, and it looks as though Year Run is still alive and kicking. He's on the run now, though. EWG, having teleported away, is looking to chase down this player, this lonely member of Bowder, who may be able to disengage and get out alive, but no, it is not to be. Alliance have picked up the chase and are going to be trying to take him down, as they do so in a very fast and precise fashion.
7 kills.
7 kills already. They are gaming.
Aggression.
What are they on? 110.4 in total.
Yeah, I mean, Alliance are a very momentum-based team. Whenever we see them do well in one game, they tend to do well into the next, especially when they're playing these really enabling, aggressive compositions for the early game. As we've talked about, the Zai in comparison to things like the Takeda and the Tianhai having a much earlier power spike into these lobbies, not relying on a successful first Realm of Yang fight win, just needing either one set of purple armor or one set of purple weapons, which in a Mortal War, if you get a couple of kills or you get some of those coins from quests, you can immediately go to a Rift Dealers and buy. Yeah,
you can. However, you do have to do it sooner rather than later. They do have a limited number, so you know it's not just there forever. You have to get in quickly, unless you want to end up having to spend more money, because more open up later on as the game progresses. However, it costs more, and there are also a limited number of them as well. So you have to choose what you do very, very mindfully of the time that it takes you, how much you're actually going to be able to get, where the shops are on the map, and whether or not someone's going to be there waiting or trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, GG now. Alex potentially thinking about engaging onto EWG, the Viper being in that first position to try and go for that F3 connection as the fight starts on up. Does seem like EWG not really wanting to take the action of this fight. Realm of Yang's gonna be spawning on up, and this is really interesting. Realm of Yang and Spirit Well both spawning next to each other means that these Viper tests from Wuchen teams that normally go for the Spirit Well when the first Realm of Yang comes on through are potentially going to have an opportunity to third-party grief the entrance of that Realm of Yang portal and separate some of those players on the compositions that want to take the Realm of Yang fight, things like the Xiphon, as well as that Valda and Hardy with the Tianhai composition, which normally prioritize a Realm of Yang fight over the Spirit Well contest.
Yeah, no, I mean, especially in the early parts of the game, you know, they're certainly going to be looking to go for those Spirit Wells in late game when there isn't a Realm of Yang to contest. But for now, they certainly want to get into that Realm of Yang. But will they be able to do so as they are immediately getting pressured by MVP? But a beautiful parry coming out onto Hong by 17S, preventing the potential further damage onto his teammate, and now teleporting away. It looks as though 17S is hot on their heels, trying to catch up to this Wu Chen LTZ with this Hexa Harmony Spear. Soljade has actually done an excellent job of icing up this pressure. The silence is coming through, though. I believe this might be V2 coming out from the Viper. Oh my goodness, the F is going to come through and take him down. Hong does pick up the elimination, and now YZG might be in a really bad spot. All three of MVP are still alive. However, ooh, MVP, they're falling apart as well. Shi Yun does get taken down. This spear from the Valda is doing work. CXZ, a wall that is extremely difficult to climb at the moment. It looks as though they have definitely managed to more than equalize this fight and fully obliterate them. How dare you do this to our mom?
Well, heading now into that Realm of Yang, we do see the Kurumi Armor Circle already going down for both of these players. One with the Temi Elemental going to be coming on through with that interaction. Dunkwing on the Cicada outside of that ultimate doesn't have any more Furin shoves to be able to keep this eye staggered. As we can see, the fan RMB comes on out trying to just take them down as quickly as possible, but it's a numbers advantage going to the side of SYN. And DRG, for a second time in the day, fall to a foreign team inside that Realm of Yang. Going to the open map now, Alliance who'd already won that Realm of Yang, going to be showcasing that legendary scaled weaponry for that Zai ultimate, as YZG with 17S's Tianhai ultimate looks to try and set up some of these grabs, gets fried by Alliance's Yuma, who got a little bit too close. NY7 mispositions. The double grab is there. It's not going to be enough to go for the kill as Yuma gets caught up into that Valda spear. 17S, even outside of the Tianhai ultimate, is still going to be able to confirm the kill damage coming on through from his team, utilizing those wave rolls to be able to try and navigate away from the damage coming on out from NY7's legendary dual halberds. But the Tianhai out of that ultimate, out of that F1 is going to be vulnerable, and NY7 now is just going to try and live as long as possible as YZG, the numbers advantage, went to their side. They lost the Tianhai, yes, but the Valdren Hardy was still alive and in the mix, and they're going to be able to eventually come out on top.
Huge for YZG, able to weather the storm, weather this aggression from Alliance, but it looks as though Alliance, they're ready to go right on in yet again. They are very happy to take this engagement. You know what? We're coming back, buddy. NY7 diving in with that F2, immediately activating that Zai ultimate. But oh no, what has happened? 17S, Ooga, Monk angry, turns around. You wanna step to this, buddy? Nah, he stomps on his body for good measure.
That's really smart coming on through from YZG. They must have left the Soul Blooms for that Tianhai to be able to pick up so that he had the V2 ready to go when Alliance Soldier went back on them.
Mindful indeed. And it looks as though Ares are taking an engagement here up against Hypercube, and it's not looking too good for Hypercube. BLZ goes down. Kanghai now up against a wall, trying his best to get out of there, but a lonely zipping is definitely struggling against this Zai. But the third party is coming through from DRG. I believe they still have Yang depletion. One of them has been cleansed, but two still yet to do so. But they are fully unleashing all of these cooldowns, all of these ultimates, and Ares are struggling to stand strong.
Oh, those Furin shoves setting up all of the extensions off of the staggers coming on out. It's going to be both the fan and the staff follow through the RMB the second that you get hit into by one of those Furins, as we're going to be looking at GG taking down SYN. SYN still having the Million Birds Might, so they are going to continue in this lobby. However, GG showcasing their aggressive prowess with this Viper Tessa and Wuchen composition, going to be starting to really scale up in terms of loadouts to those weapon rarities as with the Viper Tessa, which, and since you don't traditionally go into the realm of Yang, the way that you upgrade your armor in the mid game is by absorbing it from teams in the open world. As we can have a look at Alliance going head to head against Ares, this is how they were able to win their realm of Yang. NY7 coming under a lot of pressure, managing to navigate out of that staff RMB with that Zai F2. Matari ultimate coming into play. NY7 still holds on to that Zai V2, had that pistol, was starting to pepper some of that damage in from the sidelines. Now gets to utilize that Zai ultimate, connecting onto all of those players, taking advantage of Ares having to position into that Kurumi on the circle to feel the benefits of that sustain. And the F2 dead, connecting onto Ares' Kuzo. Alliance, NY7, Zai just looking absolutely textbook.
Alliance, yeah, they're certainly pretty oogly. They are, as we said before, no strategy, just fight, bro. Just fight. That's all you need to do. And this is certainly a very good comp at doing exactly that. So they are very well versed in the mirror matchup, in every matchup, I would say. Alliance racking up a, I believe that was 11 eliminations. They have 7 and 2 and 2. Very nice indeed for them, picking up the speed in that latter half of the day. DRG, you know, they've not had the best day so far. It's not been going so well for them. They've been fumbling. They've been losing their realms of Yang, and you know, they've been losing to. Although, you know, they've been losing to foreign teams, and although that's not necessarily something to be all that ashamed of, the foreign teams, they've definitely put a lot of work to be here. However, considering the environment that they have to practice here in China, it's not typical that we see that happening as often. DRG, there seems to be something going wrong within the team that might be making it a little bit more difficult to stay coordinated and be successful in those realms of Yang. Here we have GG up against Bowder, contesting this Spirit Well Moxie, and it's looking pretty good for GG so far.
Yeah, especially since LXM does have that jabbing. However, they're having to deal with this Takeda ultimate. Viper V1 is going to come through. Bowder going to be investing the Tumulch ultimate, so if someone gets stunned, GG have to go through the wind wall, but Peak gets caught in the middle of the Temi ultimate, and GG do not have to navigate through the sandstorm to be able to pick up the kill. Tessa ultimate is going to find the CC that they're looking for. They just have to stop Bowder from being able to interact with that urn, as LXM tries to find the peel, manages to shove the Takeda away from his low health Tessa with the connection of that Viper F3, but Bowder with the overall better sustain in terms of Sand Siphon, going to be able to try and find the kill. However, GG able to take down Yiran, now turning it into a 2 versus 1, and CJS with the dual Halleys takes the Takeda down. GG against all odds come out on top.
That was crazy. That was actually huge. Able to survive in that 1 HP clutch situation, but we're jumping into the realm of Yang with Alliance up against KFL. Team from Europe up against Alliance, who are residential in CN right now. They've been here for a long time. They've been doing extremely well today, but it doesn't look as though they are rolling over this team. Yak pushing a little bit too far forwards perhaps, but perhaps it was simply a bait. Windy round the pillar, catching him through the terrain with that ultimate, picking apart oh my goodness, Alliance fall to KFL, and you can see it on their faces, on the cameras. They are very pleased with themselves. Props to them. Not sure if that was Windy taking advantage of Yak being, oh, I'm just out in the open, well, or if it was planned from the beginning.
He's on zip, so if you have the F, then you just throw it down, get the extra tap dodge, and then you can space
Moxie, you shouldn't be out in the open. But just say it's all planned, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all planned. Big brain KFL coming out and taking down Alliance in the realm of Yang.
Really good stuff coming through from them. I mean, the foreign teams have really impressed in terms of those realm of Yang fights. You can see that a lot of work has been put in for them to be able to get ready for that situation, because I mean, Realm of Yang is such a deciding factor in terms of the overall gameplay. Having Yang depletion, especially when it's second Realm of Yang, can be so detrimental. In fact, it's pretty much a death sentence coming on for a lot of these teams, because even if you're able to take a fight and cleanse the bloom, you have to all in a lot of these fights a lot of the time. which means that you still die.
Yeah.
It's just a case of it comes a little bit later, probably after the fight, that you're able to find that cleanse through. As we can have a look at YZG coming out of their realm of Yang, it is going to be 17S on this Tian Hai. However, YZG still not utilizing their ultimates, and just off of neutral pressure, they've been able to force the Kurumi into throwing out that armor circle, the parry into Cavalry Bloom, the Hardy ultimate doing work. QGG from the skies just being an absolute menace with the drop down R&B from that pole sword, and YZG didn't even need either the Tianhai or the Valda. They just parried Cavalry Bloom and a Hardy ultimate.
Yeah, no need. You know, just game it. You know, YZG, they are on the ball in this game for sure. You know, that entire early game sequence as well, they were performing extremely well, and then going into this run with Yang and not even needing to use their ultimates to actually get the win. Massive performance coming out from them, but here we saw a little sort of assassination attempt perhaps from GG. They spotted out DRG hiding at the base of the cliff, throwing out that Tessa ultimate, but only able to catch one, I believe, and then that being the Kurumi. Props to him for iframing the charm with that Kurumi tether. Kurumi mechanics. Kurumi tech coming out right there. Massive. You know, that's not easy to do.
No,
it's not easy.
It's really not. Like, you have to time it perfectly, and it's an even shorter gold frame focus than the Tianhai activation.
Yeah, you have to be very, very precise and very well versed in that the Kurumi tech. But we're going to be going into a fight, a skirmish here between Alliance, and it seems like DRG's in the mix, SYN's in the mix. Who else? I believe that's it. I do think that GG was close by. They might be turning up relatively soon, but for the moment, nothing too aggressive so far. However, SYN and Alliance both certainly need to have this fight take place as they are afflicted by that Yang depletion.
Yeah, unfortunately for Synergy as well, I believe that there was that Kurumi armor circle from their side.
Yeah.
So Alliance able to bait that out before resetting and coming in with the Sai ultimate, before Synergy have the opportunity of being able to sit in that sustain. Is going to make it even harder for them to try and hold their own into this fight. Unfortunately for all teams involved though, this particular terrain is really good for kiting. So much potential for scale rushing around those really enclosed hallway spaces. Means that a lot of these teams with Yang depletion and only 1 minute 30 seconds on the clock aren't going to be able to find the full isolated lockdowns that they're looking for. The Kurumi Tether comes on out, giving that 70% damage reduction to Synergy's Mines, who has to utilize that Zai F2 to rejoin the fight. NY7 are going head to head, but Mines without that damage reduction is going to eat all of the damage from the Cavalry Bloom coming out from Yuma. And Alliance with the upper hand now in terms of that damage burst, still having that Zai V2 on the cards, are just going to rip apart these players from Synergy. 2 Soul Blooms now picked on up from the side of Alliance. Can they take down CBB, or are they going to lose their Matarias? I believe they have only about 30 seconds to be able to bag this kill before they have to bring their Matari back.
I think a lonely Kurumi is likely going to die here. This, yep. I was gonna say!
Yeah, they don't get the kill though.
But they don't get the kill.
DRG's Kakaishi is able to come through
That was
with
a
the bow
pretty big
shot.
snipe, actually. That was props to him for getting that snipe. That was
True.
an easy shot.
But they also going to be able to find the Soul Bloom.
True. Yeah, they cleansed the Yang depletion. They are in a decent spot now. They're not in danger. The desperation has subsided, but the action has not yet stopped. We have YZG, GG, KFL, Alliance now, all trying to secure this spirit well, it seems. But YZG, they're in that position 1. They're on the floor. They're in the bottom. They're in that spirit well dome, and they're able to get their hands on this Draco Storm. And immediately, as soon as every team recognizes that that was an inevitability, that they all scattered into the wind, tried to get as far away as possible. But unfortunately for DRG, YZG has them in their sights.
Yeah, there was a token resistance coming on through. We did see a
Yeah,
Viper
a little
ultimate
bit, yeah.
connecting onto 17 as some of these teams had a little bit more time to be able to break away. Something that we're starting to see from these teams when they know that the Tianhai is set up for that Spirit Well is that they have their Valder and their Tianhai stick in that space, but they send the Hardy out to be a little bit more proactive and aggressive in holding some of those teams into taking a fight, forcing them to just keep that position being a little bit close so that when the Spirit Well does get captured, the Tianhai and Valda are in position to immediately take advantage of having the double ultimate buff coming on through. So it is going to be a full reposition, like you said. YZG very much wanting to try and take a fight, but none of these other teams wanting to opt in for that. CYNSB, unfortunately, is going to get caught a little bit out, just trying to run away. KFL, though, takes the kill. Matari F2 with how quick it's able to come out and catch on to some of these players. 17S as well gets held into that Tumult Wisp. Does still have that ultimate to fall back onto, but it does look like it's just going to be a drop down over towards the cliffside to break LOS from these teams, to go for a full armor powder reset as opposed to coming on through with the V2 health replenish. Moonbane comes out into the field as well, so a lot of these teams going to be trying to utilize that to put between themselves and YZG, who currently have that buff and are not going to want to have to kite through the Moonbane to access some of the teams around it. As 17S, risky play. We are incredibly close to the Moonbane. However, they are just going to be going through some of these bodies and picking up resources to make sure that they have everything in the pocket when these teams start trying to turn onto them, as DRG's Kakaishi does only have the blue fist blades, but the reason why that weapon is still going to be equipped is the soldier that is attached to them. Cloud Weaver is immensely strong in its own right in both solos and trios, especially if you can grab some of those players and vacuum them into the follow-up Furin shoves coming out from Dongqing.
Absolutely. Sectioning off that space is going to be invaluable when it comes to trying to contest this Spirit Well that is going to be coming up very, very soon. I believe it has now come down onto the field. DRG, having been holding that space, have now been forced to disengage, forced to fade away, as one of their team members does take a considerable amount of damage, and they are not looking to risk fully getting taken down in what could be an absolutely chaotic engagement between all of these players who are trying to find their way in. GG being one of them, YZG, all, you know, they're trying to find some avenue of aggression, they're trying to hold their ground, but GG seems as though they're going to be the ones coming out on top in terms of this aggression. They're holding that space, they've pushed away YZG. I believe the Hardy may have been pressured by a separate team, forced to use that ultimate, and now having burnt that resource, are being forced to fully disengage and try and hide away, even though they are in a very good state in terms of loot, armor, and weaponry. You know, we've got the triple golden armor, double golden weapon and purple weapon there for that team. A very good spot to be in, especially on this the Valda Tianhai Hardy composition. You don't want to be risking too much, especially when a Viper is involved. Here we see it, CXZ does get stunned up by FS Ultimate. The Viper V1 is coming through, but it looks as though it's not going to net too much. Wait a second, whoa, he got melted!
Yeah, GG, it was so smart. They used the Tesla ultimate before the Viper ultimate to force the Tianhai into iframing with the activation, so that they did not have the iframe availability to stop LXM's 5-second stun from that V1. Swapped over to the repeating crossbow with the Venom tip and absolutely butchered the Tianhai's ultimate health bar. Yeah, GG, that's so smart. Like I said, win conditions and final circles. GG are one of, if not the best team at understanding how to utilize the situation that they find themselves in. That is the Tianhai immediately removed, and it's not just the Tianhai. YZG lose the Hardy as well. They might be able to bring him back up, but still having that Valder in play, it might just be trying to live the situation as long as possible, as Tesla ultimate into LXM, getting to close up that distance with the F3. Shotguns down CXC, and that is YZG entirely eliminated off of the back of GG's macro.
That is very sad to see. They were in a very good position. They've done extremely well in that game as well. 11 eliminations, but now looking as though KFL is in a bit of danger here now, having to fend off GG, who are just standing there like a firing squad. Windy just standing there, nowhere to go, knows that if he tries to grapple, knows that he tries to scale rush, he will immediately get just headshot in the dome with one of those bows, the muskets, what have you, he would immediately have been taken down, trying to stay there and be as inconspicuous as possible and hope that he doesn't get noticed. But unfortunately not. KFL Yak is going to be following suit, and KFL not having the experience in this end zone, and GG just being a massive force to be reckoned with. You know, it's so unbelievably difficult to take down GG in these end games. They're so well versed at staying together, working together, and consolidating all of their resources in a very optimal way so that they get the most amount of value. KFL, I do believe we still have one member of... Oh no, wait, no, they're all dead. No, they're all down. I thought one was still alive, but no, sadly not. Those who are alive, though, are DRG, 2 members of Alliance, and of course GG. 8 people alive in total. Dongxing trying to work up some of that ult charge to try and start, you know, pulling that trigger, but it looks as though GG aren't going to give them the time of day. They're not going to let them do it, and they might be taken down, but the Kurumi Circle is in play, but it doesn't matter. The burst damage from the fist blades, Moxie. The jabbing, it's too much burst.
Yeah, that's Clyde Weaver and jabbing and blistering edge all available for GG. LXM looking for the jump parry, the rest of his players taking advantage, and DRG's WX98 is going to go down, taking us to a 6-player situation. GG the only one who are going to have full team left over. LXM does get caught out by a sliver of that Zai ultimate, but unfortunately NY7 has to trade his life for it. LXM now utilizing that Viper V1 to zone other players into that storm damage, as there is absolutely no place of safety. The terrain absolutely perfect for GG to come through with that Viper ultimate finish, and back to back GG will be able to pick up another MVP, showcasing that this is really the team that you want to be watching. It's not often that we get to see a Viper Tesla Wuchen team take control of a Spirit Well, but GG doing an admirable job of taking advantage of their surroundings, getting to spot out that the Tian Hai was forced into repositioning with the Huddy Cube coming on through.